Atlanta, Georgia is the first of 3 stops for Major League Pickleball Season 2, and MLP is the league that has the most unique take on the fastest growing sport in America. If you're new here, you are going to love this format as we welcome you inside the beautiful Lifetime facilities here at Peachtree Corners. 12 drafted teams composed of 2 men and 2 women at the premier level enter this tournament on Friday, all vying for the ultimate prize, the largest purse in pickleball history. Here's a look at our first matchup to come today. The Orlando Squeeze taking on the Arizona Drive. Orlando's the only team with a flawless 3-0 record. And then our second semifinal is DC Pickleball team. They built their team around Riley Newman, the number 3 pick. Adam, what are you most looking forward to on the slate?
Well, this first semifinal one, my pick to click is Rachel Rohrabacher. She was the 4th round pick of the Orlando Squeeze. She swings big on her ground strokes, volleys, and counterattacks, and she was 6-0 in doubles and pool play, playing big.
What I am most looking forward to is that second semifinal. The Miami Pickleball Club is so dangerous, especially if they get to the infamous Dreambreaker. 3 of their 4 players are some of the top singles players in the world.
That's the voice of Cameron Irwin, and we also have former top pro Adam Stone in the booth. I'm Michelle McMahon as we get you formalized with the rules of the game. Major League Pickleball does it differently than everybody else. Rally scoring's the biggest nuance here. We will play games to 21 points. You must win by 2, but you also must win on your serve. We will change ends at 11, and really anything can happen in rally scoring, Adam.
Yes, it's a mental squeeze for these players. Every error that you make counts as a point, and they really feel that pressure out there.
One of the best parts of Major League Pickleball is the Dreambreaker. Not only are you going to be stretched in terms of gender doubles competition, mixed doubles competition, but also you could get to that Dreambreaker where your singles prowess is going to be tested.
We had 3 Dreambreakers on championship court to cap our coverage yesterday. I would expect the same here today. Time now to welcome in the 4th member of our crew. Current female pro Cameron Blackwood is courtside to bring us expert analysis and insight. Cameron, what else should we know about the matchup?
Well, early this morning, it is chilly, which has been very different than the entire weekend. It had been pretty hot here, so expect very fast play. Again, with the 2 new players in Premier, we have Vivian Glasman and Rachel Rohrabacher. Look for them to play big, but who can be consistent and who can execute? Those are going to be my X factors in this matchup.
All right, we'll keep a lookout for that. As for us here in the booth, it is so much fun to start with a semifinal match because the coin toss has a lot to do with it. We will explain that in just a moment. Here are the head-to-head numbers between Arizona and Orlando. Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher have a 56% edge on Vivian David and Vivian Glasman, and Arizona won the toss. They chose to react. That will come into play. We'll explain that once we get to mixed doubles. Orlando opted to put this team out first for women's doubles. What do you think the strong point is on their side with Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher?
As I mentioned, they are a crystal clean 3-0 in women's doubles, and their opponents were actually 1-2 in pool play. So I think that they're trying to get off to a quick start, get their confidence up, and getting that first match win on the board is such a big deal.
You know what else is really fun is just looking at the backgrounds for 2 of these athletes, Anna Bright and Vivian Glasman. They're former teammates, collegiate teammates, which also means they're going to know each other's game really well. Vivian Glasman came into the sport of pickleball thanks to Anna Bright, and right now she has become her opponent.
The Orlando Squeeze, owned by the DeVos family, and built their team around their first round selection, which was Anna Bright. They gave away their third pick to the DC Pickleball Club, made a trade down to 5, took Anna Bright as the 5th overall pick. Arizona boasts an ownership group of Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Phelps, Dirks Bentley, just to name a few, and that is one of the fun features of Major League Pickleball. But Anna Bright, she's been a staple for this team, and it has proved to be a fruitful draft for them, picking up Rachel Rohrabacher in the 4th round. She was an unknown pick. Everyone was looking at the Orlando Squeeze, taking a risk on this former Gamecock, and she is proven to be up for the task.
Well, I had the 10th pick in the Challenger draft as the hard 8 GM and coach. I thought Rohrabacher might fall to us, not even close. She is a hot commodity, and she got scooped up.
One of the best qualities about Rohrabacher, her ability to drive from the baseline. Pay attention as these two are unafraid to drive and crash.
And Rachel Rohrabacher told me before the match she's unafraid of the moment. She loves Major League Pickleball. She wants to be in there when the pressure is mounting. And here we go. First serve is on her paddle to Vivian David. Constructs the point perfectly right out of the gate. Orlando on the board first.
Just a casual backhand speed up, forehand clean up from Anna Bright right up the middle. Well played.
Another point for Orlando. And once again, thrilled to have you with us here on Championship Court bright and early for our first semifinal. Cameron Irwin, Adam Stone, Michelle McMahon.
2-0.
Anna Bright, she's been big early.
And one of the challenges, I mentioned it, for Vivian Glosman, she's going to be going cross-court with Anna Bright. Glosman loves to cut this ball, especially reaching in, volleying this with backspin.
3-0.
At times, that could sit up through the middle, and Anna Bright is quick to pounce.
Every ball going to Glosman's way right now. She answered that time.
Yeah, she up to the task that time. But one of the issues with tennis players coming into pickleball is they really like the cross-court dink and are uncomfortable changing direction up the line. Rohrabacher, a great player, but at this point of her career, Anna Bright is a stud.
Well, Anna Bright had the chance to choose Vivian Glosman in that fourth round selection for Orlando. Many people were surprised when she went Rachel Rohrabacher, and given the results of Rohrabacher lately, that seems to make sense. No disrespect to Glosman.
Point.
Well, and to your point, I think it's interesting, too, because Rohrabacher really likes to play the style that Anna Bright likes to play, which is that up-tempo drive from the baseline, get in and be aggressive throughout the entire rally, rather than a slower tempo dink drop sort of play.
Point.
Couple of misses for Rohrabacher.
Yeah, two big forehand swings from Rohrabacher, both catching the tape. Both decent looks, though. I expect her to keep swinging.
4-3. Side out. Point.
That's one of those redirects, right, that Adam was talking about, where it can be so difficult. You're getting a certain spin and bounce coming into your paddle, and you have to completely change that to reverse the direction.
Side out.
Incredible defense from the Arizona drive, as big cuts aplenty from the squeeze, just couldn't finish the point.
5-4.
Good find from Anna Bright.
Yeah, and the reason that's so tough, it's cross-court and also somewhat cross-body for Vivian Glosman. If she's sitting forehand, it's really hard to protect that left side of her body.
5-5.
Anna Bright is an MLP champ from Newport back in 2022. Rachel Rohrabacher all over it.
Yeah, that's one of those big swings I was talking about on the counterattack. Vivian Glosman looking for a little offense. Rohrabacher says no, no, no.
Come to you. 6-5.
Anna Bright, a couple of times rolling it over to Vivian Glasman.
Yeah, and the key word there is rolling it over. Anna Bright, so dangerous with that
7-5.
two-hand backhand. It creates so much topspin right at the foot of Glasman.
Point. Eight, 5.
Just barely missed for Glasman.
Tough on the overhead, so close.
Nine, 5.
Thrilled to have you with us on Tennis Channel. And if you're just joining us in this match in progress, you're watching Major League Pickleball here, Season 2. There are 3 events in Season 2. We begin in Atlanta. This is women's doubles, the semifinal match, the first of 2 we have on championship court today. Orlando against Arizona. That was Rachel Rohrabacher, the former tennis player out of the University of South Carolina. She's playing with Anna Bright.
That's a tough ball for Vivian David to have to defend against cross court.
Just back for Vivian Glasman, and Orlando takes the first lead to 11. We will change ends and take a quick break ourselves. Orlando up 5 on the Arizona drive. This is the team they wanted out first, and we're seeing why. Major League Pickleball presented by Margaritaville, making its first stop on Season 2 here in Atlanta. We are so thrilled to bring you our first semifinal of the morning. Started at 8 a.m. Eastern, bright and early. Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher up for the task. I'm Michelle McMahon alongside former top pro Adam Stone and pickleball expert Cameron Irwin. We also have Cameron Blackwood on the sideline. It's a missed third shot dropped from Anna Bright.
Yeah, nice roll from Vivian Glasman and a quick start after the end change from the Arizona drive. They're going to need it to get picked up, see if they can get Vivian David involved in this match.
There's
Side
Vivian
out.
David.
Point.
Just got an
12.
unlucky bounce off the tape.
And that's a hard task, right? To be on that right side to get more involved, because it
12-7.
means you're going to have to slide more middle or start to dictate terms with your backhand.
It's a good find from Rachel Rohrabacher.
Yeah, big swing from Rachel in the cross-court forehand. And one way to get Vivian David involved is the shot selection
13-7.
of Vivian Glosman. Let's see if she can figure out a way to put some balls in play and force the ball over to her very capable partner.
Rachel Rohrabacher involved in the firefight.
Yeah, and one of the ways you talk about shot selection is that dink up the line like we talked about a couple of times. If Rohrabacher gets that forehand, she's more than likely going to go back
14-7.
cross court, where Vivian David can maybe get a pop-up or two.
Side out. Point.
Nice crisp first volley
8.
from Vivian David off the drive from Rachel Rohrabacher. Gonna need a couple more of those.
8-14. Side out.
And that's really just such a great shot. However, that might speak to just a little bit of the newness to Vivian Glosman. The speed up the line, and she is a hair late to come back and cover middle with that forehand. As soon as that speed up's coming, she should be
15-8.
sliding to cover more middle.
Point.
That's a very good point, Pam. You always want to keep that hard stuff. When they're going to go with power right in front of you, you will react to that soft shot that goes back behind you. You have to plug the
16-8.
middle when your partner is speeding up straight ahead.
Hannah Bright goes right at her former teammate out of UC Berkeley.
Really tough ball for Vivian
Timeout
Glosman.
receiver,
Just one of the biggest
17-8.
changes from tennis to pickleball is the compact swing. And Glosman on that counter almost dropped that paddle back behind her shoulder and took a pretty big cut at it. Paddle faced, still too open.
Yeah, and we've obviously seen some very nice speed ups and power and counterattack from the squeeze, but I'm more impressed with the cleanliness of play. Almost zero unforced errors. Both players moving their dinks around with aggression and consistency.
The Orlando Squeeze, they have liked this combination of Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher all tournament long. A perfect 3-0 record out of pool play. Mentioned Anna Bright's tennis background at UC Berkeley. She ranked as high as number 13 in the country. Stormed onto the pickleball scene and became a pro in almost 2 months, 1 month.
Yeah,
whatever that was.
And she called her shot. Her very first tournament, she said she'd win it all, and that's exactly what she did. Just so impressive. She comes in with great confidence, but it also really stems from just her absolute belief in her work ethic. One of the hardest workers on the court. Even today, Adam and I were just walking up to the booth and saw her out there with 2 players just warming up, 2 of your just average Joes sitting there warming up Anna Bright for her big time match.
She has an eye for talent, too. She wanted Rachel Rohrabacher in the 4th round. If you're just joining us, that was one of the storylines we touched on at the top of the show. That was Rachel Rohrabacher. Said she looked at her record and she was convinced. Tennis record back in college, should clarify.
Point.
Heavy ball. Cross court, plenty of time for Vivian David, but up at the shoulder level, really jamming Vivian up.
18-8.
No chance to counter with authority.
Miscommunication in the middle. It's a good place to put it.
9.
Well, and it's interesting. You called it the middle, and you're spot on. However, where was that middle, right? It was all the way on that right side between the 2, Rohrabacher and Bright.
Ball was called clean by Anna Bright.
Yeah, I think it just missed on the back sideline. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
One called it out, one called it clean. Anna Bright was
10-18.
clean and Rohrabacher set out, and ball is ruled in. I think it was good.
Yeah, we can see on the replay right there. Definitely dropped inside the line.
19.
Vivian David a little late on that big 2-handed backhand swing. She has a really good one, just couldn't come up with that ball.
Orlando Squeeze 2 points away from taking it. Games are to 21. Rally scoring, win by 2, and win on your serve.
Side out.
Yeah, we often see a variety of runs throughout the game, even if the final score ends up lopsided. But this has been a very solid game throughout from the Squeeze, almost never in doubt.
It's a nice softball from Vivian David, throwing in some off speed.
Well, and again, there's that middle where it's a little bit hard for Rohrabacher because she has that great two-hand backhand. She wants to be able to cover that on the cross court.
Nice combination there as Anna Bright takes the second hand off the paddle for some extra reach, pokes an attack, and then her partner cleans up with a big forehand cross court.
Game point for Orlando to take game 1. That's a good shot from Vivian Glasman with everything on the line, and now a 7-point hole to climb out of here.
That's a really impressive ball. Up the line, finds the forehand side with Rohrabacher sitting backhand.
Anna Bright earns the serve back. We're still on rally scoring, but you have to win on your serve, so they will stay on 20 for now.
Yeah, they are not breaking the pattern, sticking with the pre-game game plan and executing it very well.
Rohrabacher attacks Vivian Glasman, closes it. Orlando takes the game 21-13.
Unfortunately, that was the best hands of the match right there on that last point with the left-handed snack by Vivian Glasman. Tough break for the Arizona drive. Just have to tip your cap. Too good from the Squeeze.
We will head to men's doubles next. This is a best 3 out of 5 match series composed of games to 21. Have another look at game point for the Orlando Squeeze. Rachel Rohrabacher, she's made for the moment.
Are we coming back straight into the, is Mish gonna bring me to the interview?
We'll be right back after this short break. The Orlando Squeeze are up a game on the Arizona drive. A 21-13 finish for the women's doubles team. Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher standing by with Cameron Blackwood to discuss the win.
Thanks, Mish. A big moment for you. First time here in Major League Pickleball, in the premiere, in the semifinals. How did you prepare mentally before coming on court?
Honestly, I just try to stay focused. I watched a lot of pickleball the night before and just keeping my mind centered and on pickleball, honestly.
It's a chilly morning. It's been hot all week and weekend long. How much an advantage was it to come out swinging, knowing that the ball was going to play quicker?
Rachel and I are going to swing if it's 200 degrees. I mean, as are most women's teams. I think that women's team is a little more patient than most probably, but we're just going to do our thing. And, you know, when you got ice in your veins, who cares if it's, you know, a little chilly, right? Let's go squeeze.
Squeeze take the first point. We're going to have men's doubles right after this. Mish, back to you.
Yeah, we will. That is Anna Bright, the player that the Orlando Squeeze built their franchise on for season 2. And now we move on to the men's. Well, their first round pick, you asked, Julian Arnold, bottom right-hand side of your screen. He is electric. We will dive into this matchup next for Arizona.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was going to break or to Mish.
Tennis Channel's coverage of Major League Pickleball is brought to you in part by Margaritaville. Escape to your personal paradise. Stay, play, live, and dine in Margaritaville. By Knockaround Sunglasses, quality shades that won't break the bank. And by Toyota Prius. It's ace now.
Major League Pickleball Season 2 begins in Atlanta. You are watching the first of 2 semifinal matches we have for you today on Championship Court. The unbeaten Orlando Squeeze on top of game on Larry Fitzgerald's team, the Arizona Drive, as we progress on to men's doubles before we get to the mixed doubles portion of the match. So let's begin with the Arizona Drive. They're down a game, but they do have the #1 pick. Not of the draft, but their first round pick was Julian Arnold. He dropped to 7, and then they got Dekel Barr in the 3rd round. That was a steal for them. Orlando has the edge on paper, according to DUPR, 52%, but why would you maybe make the argument that Arizona could have the edge here, Adam Stone?
And I mean, they're a perfect 4-0, 3-0 in pool play, 1-0 in their quarterfinal matchup, and there was a slight issue of who was going to play left or right coming into this tournament. They have settled into the roles with Julian Arnold on the left, Dekel Barr on the right, and one thing is for sure, the Arizona Drive are not going to have an issue creating offense.
Well, and on the other side, that's where the question lies for them. they have to be able to create offense for the Orlando Squeeze. And this could be interesting because one of the best ways for Zane Navratil to create offense is the fact that he loves to step back off the kitchen line, take balls off the bounce and to speed them up. But it's also a read. So there's going to be a bit of a challenge on the other side in regards to AZ Drive's counter punches. For Daescu, he's going to be playing that left side. It's going to be imperative for him to try and get really involved through the middle. This is a team that's had some struggles in terms of who's taking that middle ball. I want to see Daescu use his height, use his length, and start to try and find some offense, because I don't think counterpunching is going to be enough for the Orlando Squeeze.
That's the voice of Cameron Irwin, also alongside Adam Stone, who used to be partners with Decobar. I'm Michelle McMahon. Cameron Blackwood is courtside. Decobar, the former tennis pro. He has a lot of size, as does Andre Daescu, another former tennis pro. For you Tennis Channel viewers out there that are big tennis fans, but man, have their games translated very well to the sport of pickleball, and it's fun to watch. Talked to the general manager of the Arizona Drive, Morgan Evans, on his team, and he talked a lot about Julian Arnold's game and how it's perfectly suited for Major League Pickleball, and you can't say that about a ton of players. He says the perfect player for Major League Pickleball is one that feeds off the energy and also gives energy. So that is, by definition, Julian Arnold.
Yes, and you have a lot of extra people rooting for you. You have one partner in a regular tournament. You have 3 here in Major League Pickleball. You have an ownership group. You have fans that follow the team around. So there is a variety of ways for Julian to be energized by the people around him, and it shows at Major League Pickleball.
And we had conversation about Julian yesterday. Julian is also great at creating his own energy, which is pivotal. He knows when he needs to flip the switch and bring it himself. So watch for him, as he loves to find those andiamos awfully quick in the beginning of matches.
Julian Arnold also leads all player rankings in games won. He is 10-1. Only lost 1 game. Ben Johns is number 2. To him, he's lost 2 games. So interesting stat there. Zane Navratil will kick us off with the serve.
But see, you're rolling the dice there, right? In terms of the counter punches for the Orlando Squeeze. And you could already tell the first location and the consistent location for the AZ Drive was right to the middle.
Inside out beauty from Decobar.
Yeah, that was very slippery, very deceptive. He has a big man and a big wingspan right in front of him. He goes with a medium pace attack, and Andre unable to put a paddle on the ball.
2-0. Side out, point.
It's a really nice return from Zane Navratil. One of the big elements to the game of pickleball is return depth.
1-2.
So important. It makes that third shot that much tougher.
Zane overextending after a very good initial speed up from him. Yes, depth on the return, as you mentioned, Cam, so important, especially when you have big, heavy drives on the opposite end of the court.
And it's interesting, too, because a lot of times you'll see a third shot drive, a fifth shot crash, or poach, as we call it. But the AZ Drive are utilizing Decobar's size. They're even dropping and crashing, with Decobar getting to that kitchen line.
Oh my goodness, a firefight and a slight miss hit that drops in. And I have played a lot of pickleball with Decobar, and he prefers to poach off of drops, not drives, which is very unusual for most players.
Oh, what a shot from Zane Navratil. Spots the opening in the scramble.
Well, and that's a great setup right there from Daescu. That's one way to find some offense, going to the backhand side of Julian Arnold.
Point.
Little run for Orlando. Makes it a 2-point game.
3-5.
Oh, no. So usually how it works, pickleball Just in a nutshell right there, make the hard one, miss the easy one.
I'm also curious, Adam, why does he prefer going off of a drop than a drive?
He just likes the extra time. So especially when I was driving, I had a very flat drive. It got to the opponents pretty quickly, and sometimes he was out of position. When I would roll that drop or put it at their feet, he could really use that big wingspan.
Missed it there. Orlando pulls within one.
Yeah, nice drive. Deckel was where he needed to be. Just a slight miss hit on the backhand counter.
And there's that length again, and it's interesting. You saw the drive go to that left hip of Deckel bar. That's kind of the location. Paddle position down. It's a little uncomfortable for him to counter there.
Just wide for Deckel bar. An ambitious shot for him.
Yes, I would label that ambitious as well. He obviously had flubbed up his footwork a little bit on that particular attempt.
6-7.
Don't worry, we're talking.
It's a very eager point from Julian Arnold. I'm a little surprised by the take. Often Daescu will sit in this cross-court dink rally for about 2, maybe 3 balls, but this one, Julian Arnold gets after.
It's long for Navratil.
Yeah, and as Cam mentioned, that is one of his favorite spots to create offense. With that step back riff on both the forehand on backhand side, sailed that one long.
Point.
Catch, caught the tape for Daescu. Went wide, Arizona protecting a 2-point lead.
9-7.
Julian Arnold, MVP of MLP's 2023 Mesa event, among several other things.
Side out point.
I like it. They're attacking that backhand side, and Julian's trying to create on his less favored side. Let's put it that way, which makes him just uncomfortable enough.
Side out point.
Yeah, that is a pattern that Andre absolutely loves. That is 2 quick errors in the last 4 or 5 points from him. He has got to clean up that backhand dink.
Side out point.
And you can see just how size can be a little bit challenging for these two athletes in terms of clearing their body out, both trying to find those forehands. You can see them shift their hips, trying to get to the forehand side.
Arizona gets to 11 first, an 11-9 lead for Julian Arnold and Deckel Bar. We will change ends and take a timeout ourselves. We'll be right back. Back in Atlanta as season 2 rolls on from MLP Atlanta. Andre Daescu and Zane Navratil in the orange shorts, taking on Deckelbar and Julian Arnold, the former UCLA Bruin tennis standout. Julian Arnold also won the Super Final with his team in season 1. That's Andre Daescu, big in the middle.
Yeah, and that's a big play right there, Michelle. So impressive because he's got to be able to create off that backhand side. When you talk about these top pros, one of the things that sets them apart maybe from those challenger level is their ability to create offense in so many different ways, including that, even the third shot drive from Andre Daescu.
Yeah, and that's got to be Julian's ball. I know Deckel was squeezing the middle as well with his backhand. Got to have better communication there from the drive, and 2 quick ones from the squeeze coming out of the end change.
Deckelbar finds the opening cross court. There's the advantage of having a big body. One of them.
I just like the no Zane call.
Andre Daescu lets it fly very gracefully.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Some kind of bird. I don't know what, but that was well done, Andre.
Ballerina-esque. Navratil mans the kitchen just shy of the net. Arizona recovers a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and it's going to be really tough right there for Navratil, just kind of going 1v2 in terms of that kitchen battle.
Long for Daescu.
I really like it from Andre. I know he missed that last ball long, but I think that was a great opportunity to take a crack at some offense. Just didn't work out that time. Keep going.
Side out, point.
There's that big serve from Deckelbar, just missing, but we talked about it yesterday. Probably, if not the top 3 servers in the game of pickleball, maybe sits up there at number 1.
Reserve.
He's very sensitive if you say it's illegal as well. He pulls up his phone and shows a video of how legal it is.
Deckelbar, big again at the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a great combination as he just kind of pokes that backhand to the left hip of Andre and slaps a forehand down at the feet to finish the deal.
Julian Arnold finds the opening on Andre Daescu off the kitchen.
And the first fist to chest pound for Julian Arnold, that is going to be a big time moment. This is where he loves to gain energy, gain momentum.
Arnold took a couple of those thirds and resets from Deckelbar. What do you think about that choice?
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. In terms of energy momentum, you could see almost immediately him trying to get more involved even from the baseline.
Navratil had that one lined up, missed it.
Yeah, too juicy. Just in perfect position with the two-handed backhand right at shoulder level. He wants that one back for sure.
17-14.
Too juicy for the Orlando squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
What a shot from Deckelbar, inside out, down the line, caught the baseline.
He's very proud of himself. As you can see, the arms go up. And
Touchdown, Jesus.
I do not blame Andre Daescu for letting that ball go out. Unbelievable job by Deckelbar keeping that inside the baseline.
Touchdown or YMCA, either way. Deckelbar has got it rolling. Really impressed with some of those shots in terms of his inside out going up the line. I believe that is his third strike that he's actually had be effective in this matchup.
Deckelbar, a native of Israel, and of course a former professional tennis player. How hard is it to hit this kind of shot, Adam?
Well, the key here is to hit it at the pace where you can fool your opponent and keep it in the court, and he was able to accomplish both with that shot.
Love our kitchen cam view, our great production crew here at Tennis Channel. Thank you for watching wherever you are viewing this incredible semifinal match. We've got another one to go, as well as the finals coming your way this afternoon. By the way, Orlando Squeeze didn't know they were playing the early morning match. Andre Dasky had already went to bed before they found out about the switch, so they had to scramble to catch him before he overslept. It was an interesting nuance for Orlando.
That's surprising. It was tough because last night we had matches go very late because we had so many Dreambreakers. So a little bit of a switch to give Miami, as they were here till what, 9 o'clock last night?
Yeah, they needed to do it. Miami needed to have a few more hours of rest after late night.
Yeah, just really high risk, high reward, and I guess I can't fault him too much because he's come up with some pretty good ones, but twice now, very ambitious from a low position on the one-handed backhand flick from Arnold.
18.
And it's interesting. I don't remember seeing Arnold utilize that one-hand backhand. I feel like we've seen it maybe, for sure, 2, if not 3 times. Oftentimes, he works around that backhand and uses his forehand to create some deception.
Ooh, what a middle ball from Andre Dasky.
Yeah, perfectly placed as Julian Arnold was coming in hot. And you know Andre, two young kids, you know he goes to bed at 8:30 or 9, so not surprising that he was already asleep.
He's 35 years old, Adam. Requires a bit more shut-eye than some of these 17-year-olds here on tour.
18, 19.
No, and a big put away for DUPR. A lot harder to put these pickleballs away than it looks.
20.
Yeah, it was good stuff. We had Julian crouching down, just a completely chaotic point, and you know what? Those are some of my favorites.
Game point for Arizona to even out the match. 1 game apiece on the paddle of DUPR. Ooh, just missed on the inside-out forehand.
I mean, so insane. The amount of elevation he gets as he's making contact, even though he just misses wide. That's a dangerous ball.
Navratil and Dasky pull within 1. They could tie it here. And Navratil misses into the net. Rally scoring continues, but again, you have to win on your serve, and you have to win by 2.
Yeah, and that's the key. When Zane goes to that scorpion with the forehand right above his head, you have to find a way to get some topspin and get it down lower. Julian does.
And that's a nice spot from Dasky. How many times have we seen him spot the middle ball?
Oh, and that's amazing reach right there. That is harder than it looks because you have to have the right amount of touch and have a perfect contact to create that topspin to get the ball to go down.
20 all. Oh, Arnold pulls it wide.
Yes, and Zane Navratil didn't work out standing in the middle of the court earlier with the two-handed backhand. That time his court presence forces a forehand error from Arnold, and what a change of events here.
Yeah, you pointed it out at the beginning with rally scoring. Game point now for Orlando. Oh, Arnold's on the sneak attack. His only option was down the line.
That's an amazing recovery right there from Andre Dasky. He ends up attacking this ball, but watch this. Julian Arnold just continues to shade to the forehand side, nearly hitting that behind him.
21.
Little finger wag to match in the celebration. 21 all. DUPR. Gets game point back on his side and some attitude.
Deckel's like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He can't, look at him, he looks angry.
22-21.
And the Arizona Drive tie it up. Some clutch points to finish for DUPR and Julian Arnold.
Well, you said it, Michelle, clutch points from DUPR. I think everyone had Julian Arnold's name circled in this matchup. One of the great offensive weapons. However, it was DUPR that really stepped up at the end to create offensive opportunities.
Yeah, well done, Deckel. Nice counterattacking and offense, like you said, Cam. After the squeezed back into it, Arizona seals the deal with a nice comeback of their own.
To mixed doubles we go. We will explain how the coin toss will impact that. That's a happy-looking Doug Hirsch, one of the owners of the Arizona Drive. Julian Arnold proving true to that round 1 draft selection for Arizona. We're going to mixed doubles next. Welcome back. The Arizona Drive took game 2 for now, but we are hearing that the final point is being challenged. The legality of DUPR's serve, which we talked about in game 2. Adam Stone, you played with him, so you're very familiar with this serve. Explain how bar pushes the edge, but is legal, in your opinion.
Right, and let's be clear, you can serve differently. So if one looks legal, or maybe he pulls up, like I said, the phone picture of or video of him serving, he can have a different serve in the moment. So you cannot have the paddle above the wrist, you cannot make contact above your waist, and you must have a low to high motion are the 3 main things, or the 3 things that you're looking for in the legality of the serve. So we'll have to check that out.
Or is it the foot fault?
Yeah, no, I don't believe it's the foot fault.
Yeah, he's the
on
far
the far
end.
side.
Yeah, he's on the far end.
So it's the legality. I mean, that looks legal to me. What do you think?
I agree. They might have a couple different looks, possibly above the waist, maybe the only
contact
thing.
point then that's being examined here?
Yeah, because the paddle clearly below the wrist, and it's a clear, obvious, low to high situation. So that could be the only factor is contact above the waist.
And the feet look clear, so we will get you the verdict as soon as we have that available. But for now, let's explain the coin toss nuance for mixed doubles. While this, oh, here's another good look at it actually.
Yeah, that's legal.
That's as legal as it gets. Well, maybe not as legal as it gets, but.
I mean, he's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
It's just might look illegal in real time.
The call stands. Point game, 23-21. AZ Drive. Orlando squeezes charge, 1 free challenge.
Jim
They have 2
Ryan.
remaining.
explaining that the serve was legal, so Orlando loses one of their 3 free challenges. Each team gets 3 free ones on the match, which you can use in any game, in any circumstance. But once you lose your free ones, points are on the line. So now that we confirmed that Deckelbar had a legal serve and Julian Arnold took game 2, let's check in with Cameron Blackwood for an interview.
Thanks, Mish. Yeah, we were talking just about the serve there. You get questioned a lot sometimes on that serve, but as you know, you've perfected it to be legal there. But does this ruin the momentum, Ernie, or are you taking this win right into mixed?
Oh, no, taking this win, of course. A serve is always legal, hasn't been proven otherwise, so keep trying. That's good.
And there at the very end, they started to creep back, really find that middle ball. What adjustments did you guys have to make to close this game out?
I just stopped making errors. Really, they only had a chance if I was missing, so felt like we were in full control. I got Deckel to put the ball away and counter anything that I might speed up, so, you know, good luck trying to beat this duo.
Drive, tie it up. Mish, back to you.
Well, at least Deckel had a chance to defend himself immediately after the challenge serve. Cameron, thanks so much. We are going to step aside for just a moment. Mixed doubles will take the stage next, and we will explain the order after this short break. In action for our first semifinal of the morning, and the Arizona Drive just even things out 1 game apiece. Julian Arnold and Vivian David will take on Andre Deescu and Anna Bright, who have a 55% win probability over the Arizona Drive, but the boys proved the numbers to be opposite for Arizona in the men's matchup. So let's discuss the coin toss now. As we talked about at the top of the show, Arizona won the toss and they chose to react when it came to the mixed doubles portion of the match. That could have interesting nuances when it comes to the Dreambreaker. We'll dive into that when it matters, but here's what it means for now. Arizona got to choose the matchup, basically. So Orlando put their order out first. They put Andre Deescu and Anna Bright out together, to which Arizona countered with Julian Arnold and Vivian David. Strategically speaking, what do you think was running through the mind of Morgan Evans in this matchup with who he has available with Vivian Glosman and Deckelbar waiting in the wings, and Julian Arnold and Vivian David coming out first?
It is 2 #1 teams, in my opinion, and that is, he is counteracting. We have Andre Deescu Anna Bright, you mentioned, I believe, the 5th overall pick. Incredible play here. So 2 #1 teams coming out first, and I like the idea of just matching 1 with 1.
15 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting in terms of this matchup just because Anna Bright has been really solid in terms of her play. She's one of the females that can create a ton of offense in a mixed doubles competition, especially with her ability to have great control, the speed ups up the line, and her ability to counterpunch. It is also fun to see Vivian David, one of the great right-siders in the game. You want to talk about defensive prowess? Vivian David definitely has it.
She sure does. She's been around the sport for so long, too. First started playing back in 2013, one of the veterans of the game, despite being quite a young age for Vivian David, the Canadian, youngest of 7 kids in her family, 26 years old.
And this will be interesting for the fellas as well. Both incredibly good at taking a lot of court from the left side. Andre with his reach and Julian with some of the most elite footwork on tour.
Anna Bright will serve first.
Okay, here we go, players.
Ryan DeVos, the owner of this team, chatted with him on the Major League Pickleball podcast, said they had every intention of picking Anna Bright in the first round. And that has panned out for them. Into the net for David.
Something else to pay attention to. Watch Anna Bright right now. She's in a really tough spot. That right side of the court, watch for the sun because she is completely staring straight into it. So every single one of her overheads and digs, it's going to become that much more challenging.
Yeah, I think he was talking about that drop in the middle of the point from Anna Bright possibly being wide.
It looks almost wide to me live on the one that Vivian David hit. That one just back for Arnold.
Yeah, they're going to try to get in his head. His head is pretty big right now. His confidence is at an all-time high. He is absolutely feeling it. And you got to shrink it down and bring him back down to earth because he's firing on all cylinders right now.
Side out, point.
Roll shot from Anna Bright brings the serve-in point back to Arizona.
I'm curious what you think one of the best ways to maybe quiet Julian Arnold is.
1-2.
That's a very tough question. You just, when whatever it is, it could be J.W. Johnson smiling in the back of the court, Julian getting fired up. The only way to stop it is to play better and to win. There's almost nothing else you can do.
3-1. Side out, point.
That's actually about 2 now errors on the forehand side of Anna Bright, trying to find that roll. That was one of the skill sets I said she's so solid at, but I think it's a tough spot right now just in terms of her vision and also not quite making the contact she needs.
Side
Just
out,
wide for Julian Arnold.
4.
They're trying to hook that forehand over to Anna Bright. And maybe a reasonable play considering those 2 early errors from her. Couldn't come up with it, though.
Side out, point.
And I will say, it's really tough. You saw Anna Bright playing that left side in the gender doubles competition. When you have to switch and start finding your full forehand roll, it's such a touch play that it can be extremely challenging to go from one side where you're hitting 75% of your shots to then having to find your next stroke.
Let's be clear here. The ladies these days, they're not just bunting dinks back into the court. They have spin, almost no net clearance, very good at moving it around, and they've been able to become consistent with those offensive dink shots.
Allison Harris for Miami, a perfect example of that. Going straight up on Ben Johns. Andre Daescu spots the corner.
And that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to get into the middle of the court and start using that length. I also loved there was a great dig from Vivian David to keep that point alive, but Daescu has got to start finding that forehand and imposing his will.
Point.
And Julian Arnold coming over just a hair too far to take that drop from the squeeze. And as you said, Cam, the forehand of Andre Daescu, very important, and he has an incredible inside-out forehand when he fully reaches into the kitchen.
The Arizona drive, take a timeout, trailing by 4 to a roaring Orlando Squeeze team looking to steal game 3.
$15 seconds. Time in.
Andre Daescu,
7-3.
the Romanian, on a run with the Orlando Squeeze, and Anna Bright up 4, looking to build here.
Side out.
A lot of pressure for Vivian David. Arizona needed a push, down 3. What else do they need to do?
Yeah,
4-7.
Getting Julian Arnold more involved would be a great place to start. A little flat-footed early and mixed.
Point.
There he is. More involved in the dinks, more consistent. Had a couple of errors early as well in game 3.
He had a few errors in the men's doubles competition, just in terms of, he said it himself in the interview, kind of maybe overextending or reaching on that backhand side. So look for him to start getting his footwork going more and finding that forehand.
Andre Daescu, he is so good at spotting that middle opening.
Yeah, and that was definitely a spot where Vivian David got in trouble. Julian was right behind her, ready with the forehand. She stabbed at it with the backhand side. Got to let that ball travel through and let Julian have a crack at it.
A quiet fist pump from Julian Arnold.
Yeah, more of a bicep flex, I think, is what it was.
6-8.
Hannah Bright puts the pressure on Julian Arnold.
It's interesting because Julian actually had a really nice shot right there, but I don't think he anticipated Anna Bright being able to send that ball back. He was almost a half a second delayed on the next shot with his forehand.
9-6.
Julian Arnold thought he set himself up. What a kick from Andre Daescu.
was a great play from Andre because Julian with the nice speed up the middle, but the wingspan of Andre was able to neutralize it, and a dink error from Julian a couple points later. Squeeze really playing well.
Side out.
To your point, Adam, it almost seems as if in mixed, Andre just feels that much more comfortable on that left side. He also has a clear responsibility, a little bit tougher in gender doubles in terms of Zane Navratil next to him, who's taking that middle, but responsibility is definitely determined here.
Hannah Bright rolls up Julian Arnold on the ATP around the post is what we call that.
Right in the sternum, and I don't think she went around the post. I think he thought she was. Oh, it was around the post. Amazing shot from Hannah Bright.
Wow, Hannah Bright making a statement as the 5th overall pick for her team. Helps them get to 11 first for the end change.
And they say pickleball's not a contact sport. My goodness, took it right in the chest.
Right in the sternum.
The best part is they just pass by each other on the end change, and she says, sorry, I don't know if she's sorry on that one. That was a pretty epic shot right there.
There's no sorries in pickleball unless you're Vivian David, of course. What a performance for Orlando. Wow, that is a statement point for the end change. What else are Andre Daskew and Anna Bright doing to neutralize or pull Julian Arnold out of his game?
Pretty good synergy, to be honest with you. They're moving in tandem. Anna Bright a little bit off the line, using her big swinging ground strokes and clearing her body and allowing Andre Daskew to step over and have free reign to do what he needs to do.
I also think they've come up with maybe 1 to 2 really nice defensive grabs to extend rallies that have gone their direction in terms of gaining some momentum.
Good eye. Anna Bright lets it fly. Orlando up 12-7.
Yeah, and it's a tough spot for Vivian because Julian Arnold confuses his opponents, but sometimes he pulls some triggers that his partner is not ready for the next ball, and I think that's what happened right there.
Interesting too, you watched Anna Bright and each one of those cross-court rolling dinks, they looked the same. There was one she actually almost faked, like she was gonna swing bigger, and she had a really nice ball still go cross-court, but still not enough deception to go head-to-head with Julian Arnold.
Another ATP for Anna Bright. Julian Arnold was more ready that time, but still effective.
Yeah, it was an awkward spot for Vivian David up at her shoulders in the midcourt. She went with the reset, which I think was the right play, just couldn't come up with it.
That's a good spot for Vivian David right at the toes of Andre Daskew.
Yeah, make the tall man touch his toes, not the easiest feat.
Wow.
9-13. Side out.
Oh, just long off the let tape on the third shot drive, forehand attempt from Julian Arnold, and a 5-point game from the squeeze.
14-9.
Just really looking solid right now.
Good defensive grab from Daskew, just misses the touch shot.
But that's, I think, what has been the separator too, right? Him and Anna Bright, their ability to kind of find an extra dink or two in terms of a dig to extend the rally. This could be a good sign for the AZ drive to walk away with that point.
Did he get it?
He got it on a slight miss hit. But yeah, I think that's what it's going to take for the drive. Is Julian's at about a 6 or 7 on his craziness scale. He's got to ramp it up. He's got to take some more court, get to the 8 or 9 or maybe above. You got to go crazy right now in this situation.
Anna Bright just barely misses, and Arizona creeping in with some momentum.
And that's just a really tough ball in terms of one to miss for Anna Bright. That's a sitter up high. It's tough because your paddle is actually pointed up towards the sky. It's a little bit low on the shoulder height, so tough one to execute for Anna Bright.
Side out.
Anna Bright responds back down the middle, rolls it in.
Yeah, and they had an extended conversation right there about that middle situation. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe that ball was just in the perfect place to cause confusion.
It was there for the taking, Anna Bright. Can't believe she missed it.
Yeah, she reached in, hasn't tried that too frequently, so I'm okay with that decision, even though it wasn't an obvious attack.
13-15. Side out, point.
Continue to try and drop to that forehand side of Anna Bright. However, they've missed wide, I would say at least 3, if not 4 times.
16-13.
Anna Bright straight ahead on Julian Arnold, and Orlando is up 17-13 in the closing stretch.
She sat just a hair further to the right side to really open up that two-hand backhand. Great execution from her.
One of the most passionate players in the game, Anna Bright. You can see it on her face. Oh. A crashing Andre Dasky gets caught in the cookie jar.
Well, let's be clear. All the fans, everyone likes it when the girls tag the guys. We've had a couple good ones today in this match.
Vivian David.
14-17.
Down 3. Oh, she's a reset queen. Almost had the speed up down the line on Dasky, but Orlando survives it, takes a point in the serve with it.
Yeah, she just got unlucky. She hit the top of the net on that initial speed up. I think she would have put Dasky in a really uncomfortable position had that gone good.
Oh, Anna Bright then owns the line on Julian Arnold, creeping towards the middle.
What a read. Anna Bright was coming in, but she was always leaning towards that forehand side, right where Julian hits the ball, and she is ready with the counter.
19-14.
It's a nice shot from Vivian David.
Point 15.
Arizona still alive, but energy still feels a little flat on their side.
15-19.
Julian Arnold lives and dies by that energy. He'll need to create something. Anna Bright lined up, rips it down the line.
Exactly what they're looking for. Julian to make a questionable decision on the speed up. Andre there with the counter. And the key is Anna Bright is locked and loaded, knowing that one more ball is going to come back, and she finishes it.
Game point for the Orlando Squeeze to go up 2-1 on Arizona. Ball is out, and Orlando takes a 2-1 lead on the Arizona drive. 21-15, Andre Dasky and Anna Bright looked dominant.
Anna Bright knows how important that win is to go up 2-1 now. You could see it just in terms of her celebration alone. On paper, it could have looked the opposite direction. Vivian David, Julian Arnold being the team to beat. So that's a really impressive win for Anna Bright and Andre Deescu.
Have another look at game point here for the Orlando Squeeze. Arnold fell flat, and Orlando took advantage. Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil could close it out for Orlando. Arizona with another chance to force a Dreambreaker. We'll be right back with match number 2. The former UC Berkeley tennis standout Anna Bright and Andre Deescu just steamrolled the Arizona Drive to help Orlando go up 2-1 in the series. They could close out the match here in our next mixed doubles game. But for now, we check in with Cameron Blackwood, who is with Anna and Andre.
Thanks, Mish. Anna, the down-the-line battle between you and Julian was incredible as far as your play, chirping, the energy. But we have to know on the ATP, were you even aiming court or were you going body all the way?
I was aiming for the court, honestly. Like, at the end change, Julian kind of said under his breath right by me, like, great shot. And I was like, yeah, I know. Sorry. It was going to the fence. But a bag's a bag. You know, you're always going to take a bag when you get one, especially in this format. It's such a pivotal point. It's great to get that win for the team, you know. Julian plays amazing at MLP. Everyone knows that. He ended 2 of my runs last season, so felt good to get that win.
And she was heading that straight-up battle there with Julian. How was that able to set you up?
Well, they allowed me to get a little closer to the middle, you know, get a little bigger, so that really helps me out. And then Anna was on fire for sure. She hit so well over there, and just happy to get a W after the men's doubles match, you know, and just happy to give our team a lead, a 2-1 lead, take a little pressure off of them, and just give them the chance to bring this home for us.
Squeeze, take that first mixed. Mish, back to you.
Cameron, thanks. We have our final mixed doubles game coming your way. Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil hope to end things for their team. A win here would do just that. Arizona still be alive. If they win this one, it will go to a 5th deciding Dreambreaker. Coverage of Major League Pickleball Season 2 continues from Atlanta. The Orlando Squeeze in their first semifinal match are looking to punch their ticket through to the finals. It'll be their franchise's first ever appearance there, and we are so thrilled to continue the action. Michelle McMahon here alongside Cameron Irwin and Adam Stone. Cameron Blackwood joining us from the sideline. And the Orlando Squeeze could pull it out here. Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil will team up against Vivian Glasman and DUPR. Two players on both sides that were not at the premier level last season. Rachel Rohrabacher wasn't even involved in Major League Pickleball. The fourth round selection for Orlando and the fourth round selection for Arizona's Vivian Glasman. And Glasman is going to see a lot of balls in this one, Cameron. How should she approach this?
It's going to be tough. She's not as comfortable on that right side, and it is also something to note. Rohrabacher is very dangerous from the right. She loves to speed up cross court. It's going to be interesting in terms of Vivian Glasman. She just needs to play clean and somewhat errorless pickleball. Don't look to try to do too much, especially against Zane, who's right in front of her.
1-0.
Reminder, we're in rally scoring. Games to 21, win by 2, and win on your serve. Anything's possible in rally scoring, and the Arizona Drive. They need this game to stay alive in the series. They could force a fifth deciding singles tiebreaker, which we will explain if we get there.
Side out.
Tough breakthrough off the rhythm, off of the let tape. And you know what? I would really like to see what kind of court coverage and offense Zane and Navratil can bring in this mixed doubles match. We know Deckel can do it. Can Zane come up big with the offense? And right on cue, DUPR flying across the screen and putting a forehand up the line past Zane.
3-1.
A couple of misses from Rohrabacher out of the gate in mixed doubles.
And if I'm Glasman, I'm actually going to shade just like she did there, about a step and a half more towards that sideline, reduce the amount that she has to work into that forehand dink, maybe just a step away.
Zane Navratil was there for the speed up, and DUPR cleaning up what Glasman started with the pace.
Yeah, and then exactly what Cam said is in gender doubles, these ladies have to recover back to the middle a little bit more. Here in mix, it's okay to post up over there to make sure you're as consistent as possible with your dinks.
Vivian Glasman with a whip of a backhand.
Two shake and bakes for the AZ Drive. If they want to come away with some points, that's a great way. It means that Vivian Glasman doesn't have to dink. It's just all about that third shot drive and fifth shot poach. 2 straight for the AZ Drive.
Yeah,
wide for Navratil.
Yeah, that's one easy fix if you're struggling with the dink. Don't do it.
Don't dink.
Don't dink. And she's paired up with a perfect partner for that, so here we go.
There's the pace of Rohrabacher answering back.
And I will say it's tough too. You see the fact that DUPR continues to drive straight ahead of him at Rohrabacher, but that would mean for Glasman, she would have to come across the entire length of the court with her backhand to be able to poach. It's not the easiest thing.
couple of crafty lobs in that sequence. Bar throws the hammer.
Oh, very chaotic point. A little bit of everything there. Lob initially from Bar started the chaos. Not a big part of his game, but a very good one there. And Zane Navratil in the last ball, can't blame him, thinking Deckel's going to go with the hard angle, but he pushes it perfectly up the middle.
Correct.
Nice point from the drive.
Correct.
Arizona up by 6. We will change the balls out. Looks like that one might either be cracked or lopsided.
Yeah, some of them too, they get these little spider cracks where it's not a full crack, but it's going to come very soon. So you have to look pretty close and make sure it doesn't have one of those that is already slightly started. Spider cracks.
Spider cracks.
Yeah.
Eagle eyes and spider cracks.
Yeah,
Got
there
it.
you go.
Jim
Don't
Ryan
forget about
and Michelle Bumgarner, our referee crew for the day. Mike Bumgarner is tracking, and Ron Ponder is on video review. We give many thanks to the entire crew working these great events, and we will take a quick timeout too. Be right back.
One minute.
Bar making quite the statement here in game 4, our second mixed doubles game of the match, up 8-2 on the Orlando squeeze with everything on the line, Adam.
Yes, and we had Anna Bright talking to Rachel Rohrabacher on the timeout, and when she was done talking, she aggressively flexed at her. So she's trying to get her to get big and get mean out there, but it was a pretty good shot, I have to say.
If there's anyone that would feed off that energy, I think it'd be Rachel Rohrabacher. She's a feisty competitor, too. Her mom said it comes from her. Saw her before the match. That's a nice finish, though, from Bar. Not going to cut it against the big body of Bar.
They have to focus on their fourth. That first volley, they've got to get that ball down, force them to dink. It doesn't even need to be countered. It just needs to be dropped down.
Side out.
Make them do what they don't want to, which is dink. If you counter back, more often than not, that ball is actually the pace that they're looking for.
3-9.
Oh, Bar just missed it.
Yes, but to touch on what Cam said, that's exactly right. I'm not even sure how much I would third shot drive right now as the squeeze just to get in, stop the chaotic points, get a little structure, and maybe your opponents will cool off.
Just wide for Rohrabacher. Not a lot of rhythm on their side right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting. She took a shot, but again, we keep talking about for the Orlando squeeze, they, I think, have the advantage when they're dinking. So not maybe take the shot. Force Glasman to hit 30 dinks.
There's Zane Navratil coming to life. He's been quiet.
Yeah, and yes, and that's exactly right. And I know that is not necessarily early in her career Rohrabacher's best skill set, but I think that's what she has to do right now is get into grind mode and see how that works.
And what does grind mode look like to you?
That's just getting to the kitchen and getting in a cross-court dink pattern with Vivian Glasman. And she doesn't have to hit every single dink cross-court. She can move it around a little, but I would stick to that spot at a high clip.
Just shy for Rohrabacher.
11-6 timeout.
But even then, the third shot drive means that Glasman has a volley counter on that fourth ball.
Oh man, they have fanny packs, Nighthawk and Dragon, the hype guys, looking good in orange.
Oh, I wish they had the little ruffles like Dumb and Dumber, you know what I'm talking about? Like those red suits, one in orange, one in blue.
Just putting out the vibe?
Putting out the vibe.
Really like the fanny packs though. Nighthawk and Dragon, just so we don't get confused.
And that's actually
Step
something
Brothers reference.
you can do right here on site. Those you can get embroidered.
Ah.
I did not know that.
It's really cool. That's why everyone's walking around. We'll go get you one after.
Yeah, we get an hour break at 12. I'm going to look into that.
That's right. The Fromuth Pickleball tent also has all your favorite team gear. And I have to say, the Orlando Squeeze, I think, outbids everybody else in the swag that they have chosen for their team and team apparel. No offense, Adam. The Heart Eights, I'm sure, are great too. But the Orlando Squeeze, I think, did a great job.
That's a nice logo. Very cute. Oh, that definitely fitting for us, Michelle.
We appreciate it. Well, as for us, Arizona Drive up 11-6 on the end change. Vivian Glasman and Dekel Bar have the weight of their team and a shot at the finals on their shoulders. They must win this game to push that Toyota Prius Dreambreaker, which is the singles format, which our tennis fans might appreciate. If we can get there, Dekel Bar hopes that they will. If Orlando wins this one, we're done. If Arizona wins, we will go the distance in singles. And Orlando is called for, nope.
It was a foot fault.
Okay, foot fault on Arizona.
Either way, it's the squeezes point, but just it's always nice after your opponent hits a winner and then the referee calls a foot fault on you just for a double whammy.
Salt in the wound. You wouldn't have won it anyways. Oh, Zane Navratil inside out, blows a kiss to Dekel Bar on the finish.
It was either a kiss or more a look of awe because that was an unreal inside out dropping. Running away from Dekel Bar was that ball.
Let's get a replay on that. Reaction. Rachel Rohrabacher hooks in the backhand down the line.
And that's 3 straight shots that have gone to the Dekel Bar backhand side that have worked out. They've come in different shapes and different forms. However, that is definitely the target right now.
And what a run for Orlando, coming right back in this game. 11-10, they once trailed 9-2 to Arizona.
10-11.
ATP delivered with perfection, and how about that?
That's a shimmy from Zane Navratil over on the sideline with some fancy dance moves. My goodness, squeeze on all cylinders right now.
You've heard of the crouching tiger. That was the crouching shimmy.
Timeout.
Oh my, Zane Navratil has clearly found his game. The strategy for Orlando has shifted to the backhand of Dekel Bar. We will be right back to discuss what's unfolding here on Championship Court. The Orlando Squeeze is on the run here against the Arizona Drive. They could take the match with a win from Navratil and Rohrabacher. Anna Bright hopes that's the case. She watches on from the sideline to support her teammates.
That's tough luck on the dribbler on the tape from Glasman, but either way, great run from the Squeeze, obviously, and did not say Zane Navratil's name too much in men's doubles. He has stepped it up big here in the heart of this second mixed doubles match. Let's see if he can come with more.
Side out. Point.
Glasman looking to go back to what really got them the advantage in the early stages of this game, which was that driving pressure as well as the poach.
Deckelbar goes right through the legs of Zane Navratil.
Yeah, he went five hole there, right through the wickets on Zane Navratil. Nothing he can do. Great power on the forehand side from the big man, Deckelbar.
Navratil takes advantage of the pop-up created by Rohrabacher.
I think we need to put a highlight reel together of just all of Zane's reactions. That time wiggling off his hand, saying it's too hot after that overhead.
Yeah, he's a showman out there for sure, and his game is matching that showmanship as he is playing incredibly well these last 5 minutes. They looked bewildered just moments ago, and now playing huge.
What a performance from Deckelbar, earning that point.
Yeah, and you're spot on. Really nice job by Deckelbar. He is almost straddling that center line right now, so he's got a tough job. He's trying to impart his will on that forehand, but still cover in terms of chasing the backhand dink.
Foot faults called on Deckelbar. Orlando takes a 15-14 lead. That's those size 16 shoes that get him in trouble, I think you said yesterday, Adam.
I think it's like almost like he's on a high beam right here.
15,
Look at
14.
this, all the way across, trying to stay almost on the kitchen line.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, incredible spin on the dipping drive from the Orlando Squeeze. Not an easy volley by any means.
15-15.
Deckelbar
Oh, man.
with a big response on some crafty celebrations of Zane Navratil.
I mean, that's a small target, too, and Deckel found it.
16-15.
Zane Navratil answers right back at the toes of Deckelbar.
You know, it's interesting. There's so many different ways to generate power in this game, right? You got maybe a build like Deckelbar who hits the ball really heavy, great pace, whereas on the other side, Zane Navratil, so quick, so whippy, really elastic in his arm and loose, and that's where you see a lot of pace generated.
Oh, Deckelbar tags Rachel Rohrabacher on her way out. She couldn't get out of the way.
Man, we're having some interesting points here in the last few minutes. People flying everywhere, size 16s in the kitchen, people getting tagged. People getting tagged, my goodness, I love it.
17-16.
Zane Navratil causes the error, ties it back up at 17.
Yeah, and he's gotten really aggressive, attacking up the line, whether it's off the bounce or out of the air, on both sides of his body. He's unafraid to go straight at Glasman.
17-17.
Margaritaville overextends it. Maybe frames it on his way there, too. A 1-point lead for Arizona.
18-17.
They perform well in a Dreambreaker, too. That could be a dangerous situation for Orlando. Vivian Glasman finds it.
And almost hooks it. A bit of a miss hit as she gets some love from Vivian David. Good things happen when you put your paddle on the ball.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I think she was going cross court with that. She found the middle. Either way, well done.
Oh, just back was the call from Orlando.
Instant decal bar challenge. He is pretty confident that ball landed in, and I'll tell you what, I called the first match of the drive on Friday. Vivian Glasman has stepped up her dink consistency in this match almost. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what, Eagle Eyes?
Eagle Eyes says out.
Challenging the out call. We will proceed to video challenge.
See, it's tough to see exactly when
where
it
it's contacting.
bounces, but I still think it's out.
I think it's out too.
Yeah, that to me, right there, out of bounds.
Morgan Evans, the GM and coach of the Arizona Drive in the white, talking strategy with his team. And what do you think Vivian David might be suggesting to Vivian Glasman?
Well, there's lots of talking with hands going on over there. So it's definitely towards Vivian and not Dekel, who's sitting down right now, as she is the target with some of those dinks. So it could be possibly how much she is going to dink to possibly pull the trigger. And when she does attack some of those cross-court dinks for Moira Bacher, what spot is she going to choose?
Which spot should she choose?
Yeah, it's tough because she has Zane in front of her, and then she has some heavy hands cross court and Glasman, and Rachel Rohrabacher, who loves her two-handed backhand. So spot picking is going to be huge, and I think it might just be in the moment where that ball is delivered to her, where she is going to attack.
There's the call that's being challenged. Orlando made the call that the ball was out. I have to agree with them, but of course Jim Ryan is here to deliver the verdict.
After review, the call is confirmed. The ball was out.
Ron Ponder was the video, or is the video referee in charge of that.
Dekel still looks like he's pointing at the video screen. Dekel doesn't, he refuses to believe.
Do each have two?
Maybe you could train him your eagle eye method.
Yeah.
Adam has a nose for line calls, in case you're wondering what eagle eyes is in reference to. It's her new nickname for him.
Only at a distance. I can't see up close these days.
I was going to say a nose or an eye.
Time in. 18-19.
Huge point here. Orlando squeeze could tie it. Arizona could get game point on their side. And Arizona in the blue will take game point to force a Dreambreaker. Vivian Glasman with all the pressure on her side. How will Rachel Rohrabacher respond with this return?
20-18.
Bar misses the drive. Wanted the backhand of Rachel Rohrabacher.
And it's tough that drive and crash method had been working for them. However, as of recent, Glasman's picked up a few points in the dink, so I might have considered dropping there to let her get back into it.
Arizona needed the side out to continue with game point on their side. They will.
Yeah, I'm not sure Man, Deckel just happened to stab that volley to the right spot to create confusion from the squeeze, and unable to come up with it with the Zane Navratil forehand in the middle.
Zane Navratil steps up in the biggest way of the match. Tie game, save 2 game points. We're tied at 20 all.
Yeah, Glosman right there. She's going to want that decision back. Again, we talked about how good she had recently been in that cross-court dink battle. Instead, she goes with a change of direction.
What defense from Rohrabacher. It wasn't enough, though. Deckelbar just too powerful. 3 game points now for Arizona.
21-20. Side out.
And a missed serve
21.
at crunch time.
Yes, so that's a third shot drive in the net, and now a serve in the net for Deckelbar. Can they get another crack, or will the squeeze take advantage?
21-21.
It's a big serve coming at you if it goes in. Oh, and a miss-hit drop from
22.
Vivian Glosman. Throws her hands up, survives the point.
Definitely a miss hit right there. That's so tough if you're the squeeze.
22-21.
4 tries now for Arizona to close out game 4. Oh no, Zane Navratil pumps one off the tape, and Arizona will force a 5th deciding Dreambreaker. Things just got dicey for Orlando.
Yeah, way to hold on for the Arizona drive. The squeeze really stepped it up. I even liked the last decision from Zane Navratil with the 2-shot combination, clipped the tape and went wide. What a match.
4 game points for Arizona. And you know what else is apparent there is the resiliency of Vivian Glosman is now on display. She was clutch in singles yesterday. We will see how she will perform here in the semis. We will be right back to explain the Dreambreaker in singles next. pressure was on Deckelbar and Vivian Glosman to extend the Arizona Drive's hopes of making it to a final, and they delivered when it mattered most. 23-21 was the final score for the final mixed doubles game. We are going to singles. Let's check in now with Cameron Blackwood, standing by with Vivian and Deckel.
In the fourth. Thanks, Mish. Viv, we're going to take you back to the beginning here. You guys go up 9-2, driving and crashing almost every point. Was the game plan not to dink with this team?
No, we didn't really have that game plan, but it worked out. And, I mean, we're Arizona Drive, so why not?
And towards the end there, at the end change, they come back 11-11, completely different team, looking really to target your backhand side. What adjustments did you have to make sure you guys took this into a Dreambreaker?
Right, we started to play a little bit softer, less drives, more drops in. We felt like we had the advantage in the kitchen. It was working. Viv was setting me up incredible, best drive in the game, men or women. So let's go. Singles, drive time.
Driver taking it to a Dreambreaker. Mish, back to you.
That's high praise for Vivian Glosman. She's going to need those drives in singles, too. Cameron, thanks. And we will get to the Dreambreaker format in just a moment. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. We'll explain after this. Back in Atlanta, as promised, we will explain what the Dreambreaker format means here in Major League Pickleball. The match is indeed tied 2 games apiece, which means we move to the singles deciding factor. Each player will rotate in after 4 points, and with the coin toss, Arizona chose to react when it came to mixed doubles, which means Orlando got to choose when it came to the order, the batting order, so to speak, in singles. So here's how it came out in the batting order. Julian and Andre, they already started without us, 1-1, and we will continue in action. The Orlando squeeze. Back to serve. 2 more points for them.
Side out.
And a finger wag to match for Julian Arnold. This was the matchup that Orlando wanted.
2-1. Side out.
That's a good split, 2 apiece.
I will say it's a slightly interesting decision to put Andre Dayescu, very capable player, doesn't play a lot of singles anymore on regular tour, to put him in front of Zane Navratil.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, but here's the second matchup they chose. Deckelbar was out for Arizona, so Orlando decided to counter with Zane Navratil for our next sequence of 4 points. Long for Deckelbar. Zane Navratil comes away with 1.
Well, and it's interesting, too, to go back to the DSQ point, because I think it's going to be tough for Julian to have to pass him. Might have to play a little bit more of that cat and mouse.
Navratil, he's a proficient singles player. An Ernie finish, reminding Deckelbar what just happened.
With what, 5 shadow swings?
It's like David versus Goliath out there. Deckelbar and Zane Navratil from a size comparison.
Side out, point.
It was a good rip from Zane. He had all his momentum forward after that slice return floated up from Deckelbar. Couldn't get it over the net, though.
Deckelbar sends it into the net. Zane Navratil comes away with 3 of the available 4 points. Here's the next rotation. It is Anna Bright, who they chose to go against her former teammate and the girl she could have selected in the 4th round for her team on the Orlando Squeeze. It's a matchup against Vivian Glasman.
5-3.
Kiss off the tape. Glasman will take the first point.
4.
Well, you heard it. Glasman, one of the best drives in the game. This is going to be interesting as she's going to look to really move Anna Bright around, utilize the last foot of the court.
They played 1 year of college tennis together at UC Cal Berkeley, and that is a missed drive for Vivian Glasman.
I mean, it's a bold statement from Deckelbar. Best drive in the game, man or woman.
6-4.
Oh, Vivian Glasman beats Anna Bright to the punch down the line.
And that's just continued effort right there from Glasman. She looked like she was behind in this point off that shot. Sends it up, and it's a step and a half for her. Utilizing that 6-foot frame and just great court coverage.
And Anna Bright comes away with 2 points. 2 points apiece. In comes Vivian David and Rachel Rohrabacher, former tennis player out of University of South Carolina. You know she lives for this kind of moment with that tennis background. We'll see how she performs here against David. Feathery corner touch to start.
Ooh, a good-looking backhand attempt from Vivian David, and I have not seen Rohrabacher play singles, but you mentioned the high-end tennis background. You know she can play.
And the forehand hook from Rohrabacher is how point number 2 will conclude.
Really solid in terms of putting Vivian David all the way to that backhand corner and following the ball here. Watch this. She stays to the right side of the court, so she has just able to hook that forehand.
Side out, point.
Rohrabacher made it to the semis in Cincinnati a couple of weekends ago in singles.
6-9.
Couple of balls that, okay, that one was called out by Vivian David. It looked like the one on the left could have potentially been called wide as well. So Vivian David comes away with 2. Orlando protects a 3-point lead thanks to Zane Navratil.
That's probably the only bad thing about being a teammate with Vivian David is she will occasionally make bad calls for her. Glad she called that one.
Generous line calls.
Yes, correct. Glad she made that call as it was clearly wide.
7-9.
Back comes Julian Arnold against Andre Descu, top of the order. Oh my. Oh wow, Andre Descu. How did he stay alive in that point?
Unreal. That is literally the best singles firefight I have ever seen in pickleball. Unreal.
Chest bumps from Zane Navratil to cap it off. What a steal from Descu.
10-7.
And that's an angle that Julian Arnold will need to hit every time because of the length of Dascu.
Yeah, and the length is really presenting some trouble for Julian Arnold right now. Again, trying to maybe get into that cat and mouse. Julian is so good at that.
Oh, right on cue, the inside-out roll answered by Andre Dascu.
Great shot from Julian. Awesome job of Andre getting back, getting his feet set so that he can move forward through his shot with the two-handed backhand up the line. Andre playing well.
Orlando takes an 11-8 lead and will enjoy an end change and a quick breather. We'll take one, too, to decompress after a wild Dreambreaker so far.
Everybody's
15 seconds.
The Orlando Squeeze off to an 11-8 run on the paddle of Andre Dascu. It's a 2-1 split so far. This is the 4th point. Andre Dascu will steal it. 3 points on Julian Arnold.
And it's not like Zane is way better than Andre in singles, but he is better. So they chose this lineup for a specific reason to match up Andre with Julian and Zane with Deckel.
A whip of a forehand from Navratil.
A great shape on that ball. That was such a view because you could see not only the amount of topspin, that thing almost hooked across with some side spin. So much action. Look at that. There's nothing you can do.
13-8.
And missed from DUPR gives the Squeeze a healthy 14-8 lead.
Yeah, after you paint the back line with the return and get a shoulder-high backhand volley, you must come up with that.
14-8.
Inside out and a beauty for Zane Navratil. No better reactions than this man today.
How many times have we seen that shot from Zane Navratil? This inside out, just whipping this all the way across the court. No one can get that.
15-8.
Wide for Barr. Navratil takes the sweep.
It's not surprising he's hitting shots like this. His paddle matches his uniform. He's looking good. He's playing good. I mean, things are lining up for the Squeeze right now.
Squeeze have their swag on lock. Anna Bright steps out against her former college tennis teammate, Vivian Glasman.
Point. (17-8).
Glasman gets one.
Point.
Yeah, tough off the back foot and on the move. She tried to get those hips stopped and her feet, her feet stopped and those hips turned to create some pace and spin,
17.
but tough ball for Anna Bright.
Side out. Point.
Outball, 18-19. Orlando Squeeze in the closing distance of the Toyota Prius Dreambreaker.
18-9. Side out. Point.
That's a nice play
10.
from Glasman to hang in 2 points apiece in that rotation. Next 4 points will be Rachel Rohrabacher and Vivian David. Rohrabacher could end it. How poetic would that be? The fourth round sneaky
10,
pick
18.
for the Squeeze to finish it. She gets one.
And the action on that cross-court forehand, I think she pulled one into the net, but 3 incredible shots, not only from the ground, out of the air at the kitchen as well.
19-10.
Down the line and a beauty for Rachel Rohrabacher. Match point, Orlando Squeeze.
Great range from Rohrabacher. Not only does she go cross court, but she's got the ball right up the line.
20-10.
Welcome to Major League Pickleball, Rachel Rohrabacher. A 21-10 finish in the Dreambreaker, and the Orlando Squeeze are through to the finals for their first time in Major League Pickleball history. What a moment.
Yeah, so good for Rohrabacher. She had the pull cross-court forehand, the push up the line. She really had it all working in the Dreambreaker. She deserves this win. Well done.
Man, so fun to watch the Orlando Squeeze pull through in this Dreambreaker. You have to go hats off. Andre Daescu was a big difference maker going up against Julian Arnold. I mean, some of the best points that we have seen in men's singles. That was just lights out. Daescu, great court coverage, and honestly, just impressive play.
And a fist bump from the owner, Ryan DeVos. We have to know what went into that decision to pull that matchup. Andre Daescu going out first with Julian Arnold. That was a clear difference maker in the Dreambreaker that none of us saw coming. Here's how the draw shapes out. The Orlando Squeeze are through to the finals. An amazing run, though, for the Arizona Drive. They needed this to start season 2. What a performance from all 4 players. And guess what? A spicy matchup still to come here on Championship Court with the second semifinal match. Miami taking the stage against Riley Newman's DC Pickleball team, and it's going to be a thriller. We will talk with the winners after this to see what happened with the strategy and how they were able to pull this one out on Arizona. The Orlando Squeeze turned some heads in the draft back in July when they took a chance on Rachel Rohrabacher in the 4th round. She had never played in a Major League Pickleball event. Well, it turns out she's pretty clutch, and she sealed the victory for her team in the Dreambreaker. Our Cameron Blackwood is with the entire team now to discuss the big win.
Thanks, Mish. Yeah, we were just talking before this. She goes, my first Dreambreaker was so much fun. You're just having a blast out here, but coming in clutch. What were you thinking before stepping out on court in this Dreambreaker to finish it out?
I was just thinking I really messed up in doubles, so I better clean up my mess.
And you played lights out. We want to know the decision-making into you going up against Julian Arnold. Didn't seem like much of a task here. You played incredible.
Yeah, I know I can play some good single points, you know, and we thought it would be a good matchup. Zane liked it as well. The whole team enjoyed it, and yeah, just happy to be able to play those good points and get the lead for my team. And it wasn't just me, obviously. I mean, Zane dominated the last stretch, and I played really well. And then obviously Rachel just did the MVP. She did so well to close it for us, and just super excited to be playing in the finals this afternoon.
And Zane, welcome back to the finals. You've been here before, but just how proud are you of this team?
Oh, I'm super excited. Obviously, we've gelled really well the entire time. Huge momentum from Andre with that insane point. My shorts are short, but they got a little shorter as a result of that one. So.
And Anna, welcome back as well to a final. You guys going to be watching the next match to see who you're going to be playing?
Yeah, we're going to watch. I mean, I think, at least for me, it's going to take some time to decompress after that. You know, that was a great team, and going 2-2 is always nerve-wracking. I just want to say, you know, I think our singles pedigree might be underestimated. I think Zane's the only one that plays regularly, but Rachel and I were swampy at 5 and 6 on some really good college teams. I think Andre was the best in the country at Oklahoma, and Zane played somewhere no one's ever heard of. D3 maybe, but he's a stud, so let's go Squeeze!
Squeeze are heading into the finals. Michelle, back to you.
You love the honesty of Anna Bright. You got to dish it out. You know, with those reactions, he maybe deserved a little shot from his teammate. You love it. Congrats to the Orlando Squeeze making it to the finals. Their opponent, you ask? Well, we will find out in the next semifinal. It's going to be a thriller between Miami and DC. Stick around. You are watching Major League Pickleball. It's the league that has the most unique take on the fastest growing sport in America. The crowd has been electric as early as 8 a.m. this morning. There's a good look at Tyson McGuffin's wife, Meg, in the crowd, early supporting her husband. Here's the next semifinal match we have coming your way, the Miami Pickleball Club. They picked up Federico Staksrud in the first round. Tyson McGuffin still available in the second. And then they got a steal with Hurricane Tyra Black. Mary Brasha, that name on the screen, she's not playing today. Allison Harris is the name in for her, and she's an undrafted, unknown entity. So Cameron Irwin, what are you looking out for on the side of Miami?
Well, Allison Harris has been great in terms of what they need from her. She may not be picking up all the wins for the Miami Pickleball Club, but she has been a steady force, clutch in Dreambreakers multiple times. So definitely someone to watch out for on that right side, but they also are a great singles team.
Let's take a look at the DC Pickleball team now. This team was built around Riley Newman. They traded up for the 3rd overall pick in this season's draft. They wanted Riley Newman. They built around him with the Kawamotos and Christian Alshon. What do you think about DC, Adam?
Well, that's right. So you have the just incredibly consistent, criminally underrated Kawamotos. You have Riley Newman, who is an offensive force, a complete alpha. But for me, Christian Alshon, all the physical ability, all the shots. Can he lock it in between the ears and make the right decisions in this big moment? That's going to be the factor for me.
We're so thrilled to bring you the action today. Our second semifinal match upon us inside the beautiful facilities here at the Lifetime Peachtree Corners. And let's introduce ourselves while we have a moment. I'm Michelle McMahon alongside Cameron Irwin and Adam Stone in the booth. Cameron Blackwood will be joining us courtside for interviews and analysis. And here is how the coin toss went. This will have implications as we get to the mixed doubles round, but the Miami Pickleball Club won the toss. They chose to react when it came to mixed doubles. We kind of saw that. No, we definitely saw that unfold in the first semifinal with how that can play a part in the Dreambreaker, especially so. Miami also chose to put their women's team out first. They like their odds of Allison Harris and Hurricane Tyra Black starting out together, but that is a very big ask against the Kawamotos, who have been electric as a team, not only on the MLP circuit, but also on the PPA Tour as well.
I mean, this is a team that is so dangerous. They're a righty and a lefty combo, twin sisters, so they understand each other's game and they mirror each other's game so well. One of the things I love is that in the last year, they've learned to really be able to create offense. They were always defensive and consistency type threats up at the kitchen line, but now they've added so many great elements in. They'll come at you with off-tempo attacks, and it can really do a lot of damage because they're counter-punching off of that, and their ability to fill voids throughout a hands battle is so impressive.
Well, we talk about Major League Pickleball and how much fun the format is, so let's get you caught up on the rules. If you're new here and just joining us, we're so happy to have you with us on Tennis Channel and MSG and wherever you're getting our coverage. Games are played to 21 points. You must win by 2, and you can only win on your serve. Teams will change ends at 11. Point is awarded to the winner of each rally. This is unlike the usual side-out scoring we see in that typical tournament format. And Major League Pickleball is just different in that way. With the draft, you draft 2 women and 2 men to every team, so every team looks a little bit different. It always makes it interesting to see how these players gel together. Oftentimes partners that never played together or never would have played together come together in this format. Riley Newman, look at him there, being one of them, teaming up with Christian Alshon so far in this tournament, and he came here with a purpose, Riley Newman. He hasn't been getting the results he wanted lately on the PPA Tour. He's come together with Alshon on the men's side of things. In mixed, I believe he's been playing with Jade, the lefty. What else do you expect to see from Riley Newman here today?
Well, let's be clear. His results are still very, very good. He just has not been able to capture that elusive gold medal recently. So absolutely right. He can play an alpha role in mixed and men's, and one of the best shots in all of pickleball, the pancake forehand that comes right from his right shoulder. So tough to attack that man, and he has great put-away power with that shot when he gets a chance.
Well, that's Allison Harris in the braided ponytail there. She was undrafted and an unfounded MLP talent to this point. Got the nod on Sunday from the coach Johnny Goldberg of Miami to see what she was made of. The team was resistant to Allison Harris. They weren't sure if she had what it took to fill the spot in the shoes of Mary Brasha. Threw her into some practices, and they were sold almost instantly. They didn't even give a look to any of the players that were drafted, even at the challenger level, that would have been available to slot in that spot, and that says a lot for a player like Allison Harris.
Well, and to step into a bright spot like this, one of the things that definitely stands out is her ability to work through the kitchen, and also that she's not scared to speed up the ball. We saw her yesterday go after Ben Johns a couple times just in terms of locating. The moment is not too big for her, and that has been ever clear in her competition this weekend.
Adam, you even said it. You've played Ben Johns over 32 times, and you never sped it up down the line on Ben Johns.
I never did anything that she did against him throughout that whole mixed doubles match. Very impressive.
Allison Harris will start us off with the serve. Every ball going her way. That's been the strategy for every team attacking Harris. It's a big pressure role to fill.
And we've seen her kind of work into some of these games a little bit, start to find her rhythm and her touch. Might take her a couple here.
Kawamoto's may have been electric on the PPA Tour, made it all the way to the finals in Cincinnati a couple of weekends ago. They reside in Indianapolis and still maintain such a high level of play. Not a hotbed for pros.
We might be seeing a few, we'll call them double rainbows in this matchup, because one of the best offensive weapons for the Kawamotos is a lob, but you also just saw one from Allison Harris. She has utilized that multiple times through the weekend.
Side out.
That's Jackie Kawamoto. They are twins. You're not seeing double on the other side. Jade is in the bun and is a lefty. Jackie is the right-hander with the longer ponytail. That's how we distinguish them. Allison Harris inside out on the put away.
Yeah, nice roll to set it up, getting a shot a little higher that she could fully hit down on.
Thank you.
She puts it inside out to the left side of Jackie Kawamoto very nicely.
Big put away for Jade Kawamoto.
And it's interesting, you saw Hurricane Tyra Black work what we'll call almost more of a slicing serve, and that actually pays well in terms of their third shot, because the best third shot from Harris is that cutting backhand. So she's receiving topspin on the return, is able to do a lot with it on the third.
Point.
Yeah, that time less of an offensive lob, so didn't quite have her feet underneath her, more of a defensive or last effort type lob as opposed to the offensive lob earlier.
Long for Hurricane Tyra Black.
And we haven't spoke much about Hurricane Tyra Black because they're trying to avoid her. One of the great movers in the game, super dynamic from her lateral motion.
Big put away for Hurricane Tyra Black that time.
Yeah, you almost always, and Hurricane Tyra, very new on the scene, but very quality results everywhere. So you always test the less known commodity first, and that's what they are doing with Allison Harris right now. And the thing is that the Kawamotos are very good at moving the ball around at the kitchen line, so I don't expect them to fully isolate her, just put a few more balls her way than Tyra's.
Tyra, of course, the marquee win over Annalie Waters in singles earlier this year in Southern California. Put her on the map in a big way.
Fault!
Foot fault called on the pushback of Hurricane Tyra Black. That happens all too often on the lobs. One of the reasons they're an effective shot.
Yeah, classic tennis move to step forward to explode backward.
Oh, Allison Harris. The defense saved the day from Harris.
And if there is one possible knock on the Kawamotos, it's put away power at the kitchen. And when you pair that with the incredible defense of the Miami Pickleball Club, you get a point like we just saw.
Tara Black has the put away power. She was a steal in the third round, one of 6 players to be promoted to Premier. Well, she must have heard you. Jackie Kawamoto says, whatever, Adam Stone, down the middle finish for you.
Really nice finishing power from Jackie on that left side.
There's the power of Hurricane Tyra Black and the deception as well.
We talked about Allison Harris kind of being the target on the side of Miami this weekend. It's really been the direction on the opposite side to go after Jade on the right side, the lefty. I would say maybe about 75% of the ball and the dink going her direction.
7-8. Side out, point.
Tara Black was looking for the tag.
I think she's questioning which to challenge, if that clipped the shirt of Jackie Kawamoto, but no challenge.
Here we go.
Kawamotos were born and raised in Maui, Hawaii. Down the middle finish for Hurricane Tyra Black.
Well, and it's funny because you mentioned they're now residing in Indianapolis. I talked to them about what it's like, because the only people they really have to train against are each other. It's a double-edged sword. It's great because they can groom one another, but at the same time, it can be extremely challenging as they constantly have to combat one another. And they're still sisters, so there's that sisterly love and also a little bit of that sisterly jousting that can happen.
That's right, and coming in hot, Allison Harris, very nice after a great drop.
That's a great drop to set up Tyra Black. And a lob takes the Kawamotos off the kitchen, and Miami takes their first lead of the game.
Yeah, and I'm thinking mostly of dropping in the back of the court. Hurricane Tyra drives, drops, lobs, everything, and it seems to work out for her.
And there's the classic double fist pump that we've come to know from Allison Harris.
11-9.
Hurricane Tyra Black and Allison Harris get to 11 first. We will change ends, and Miami came from out of nowhere on the Kawamotos, who seem to have all the momentum early. What was the biggest change in your eyes, Adam, the start of this game?
Well, really, right now, it's the ability to put the ball away. I think that is the key right now for Black and Harris. The Kawamotos have constructed some amazing points, just haven't quite been able to seal the deal. And I think that's the difference, and a very small difference at 2 points.
I think one of the other elements is the variety of offense we've also seen from Miami. You've noticed multiple times that there is the lob taking place. You mentioned Hurricane Tyra Black also doing a really nice job moving the ball around. But nonetheless, it's the varied offense and the execution in terms of put-away power from those two.
And there's the hype guys standing next to the electrifying Tyson McGuffin's wife. He's definitely carrying the energy part of the partnership, I would say. She's got to play the calmer role of the partnership. He's a big family guy.
15 seconds.
Many kids back home, based out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Tyson McGuffin, one of the originals in the sport. He had such an incredible performance late last night in the Dreambreaker, matched up against Ben Johns, played the singles of his life in that one
11-9
to put his team in this position. Just back that time for Hurricane Tyra Black. Do you like her going back to the lob well?
It was more of a defensive lob, honestly. She kind of was off balance. It's one of the first times that she's been caught off guard.
Jackie Kawamoto takes advantage of the let cord.
And until the Kawamotos are able to really put away the ball on the overhead, I'm going to continue to send it deep into the court and challenge them, push them off that kitchen line, puts them at a point of advantage.
Point.
Yeah, it's a good point. So obviously making the lob bounce behind your opponents is ideal, but if they are unable to release on that overhead, you're in a good position, as Cam said, pushing them off the line.
Point.
Patient point for the Kawamotos. They can grind you out of points.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be Tyra's ball. I'm sure they have talked about the responsibility in the middle, but she's just so good with her movement. Takes a lot of pressure off Allison Harris if she can take that.
Point.
And a nice turn right there on the right side. One of the biggest elements when you're in those hands battles is not always about pace and reaction time. It's actually about, can you get the ball down at the foot of your opponent?
Tyra Black steps into the middle that time, exactly to your point.
Yeah, alpha right there, just taking it to them. 3-shot combination and the easy put away power up the middle with a short stroke from Hurricane Tyra.
That's a nice inside-out lefty finish from Jade Kawamoto. What can you even do against that?
Yeah, and those are the points Miami wants to stay away from. That's what Adam was talking about in terms of the ball control.
Here we go.
Yeah, both Kawamotos, incredible inside-out forehands with the deception, and I think Jade, one of the best out there.
Oh. Allison Harris lets it fly. That's a good eye.
And it's back to that exact same strategy, working all the way to the baseline. The lob sent back, and you can see that they're trying to add pace from the baseline, but it's still just not enough.
13-15.
Deep for Jackie Kawamoto, and Miami creeps right back in.
14-15.
Trailing by 3. Nice flick by Jade to keep Tyra Black honest. That's the risk of the alpha roll, right?
Yeah, perfect spot from Jade, and classic Kawamoto stuff here. Nothing earth-shattering, down 2 at the turn, now up 2.
That's the put away power that you need. Gotta love that. Start building off of it too. Also, they're a little uncomfortable right now. You have to settle in, find your own game, and don't start to try and play in terms of creating pace, doing things that aren't normal to you. You've got to stay within yourself and really control in terms of moving your opponent around the court.
DC leads 17-14. Miami calls a timeout. We'll take 1-2. Riley Newman and Christian Elshon discussing strategy
17-14.
on the side of the DC Pickleball team. The Kawamotos taking care of business on the women's side of things. So far, anyway. Rally scoring, anything can shift. Making a 4-point pull for Miami. DC carving out the lead.
I'm not gonna lie, coming out of that timeout, there was a little extra oomph on some of those
18-14.
counterattacks from the Kawamotos.
They're feistier than they appear, Cameron.
Yeah, that's inside out lefty Jade setting all that up, and you might be able to overwhelm them for points. It is so hard to overwhelm them for an
19-14.
entire match. That's why they are so good.
Jackie lets it fly. The Kawamotos take game point on their side. DC in good shape.
20-14.
It's a nice play from Allison Harris.
15.
But nonetheless, it's a 3-1 run back out of that timeout. Really nice job by the DC Pickleball team.
15-20.
Rally scoring continues, but you have to win on your serve, so DC will stay on 20. They just need to get the serve back to finish. Ball is wide, side out earned. DC with another game point on their side. Second try.
20-15.
Jackie Kawamoto closes it out in game one. A 1-0 lead is what you like to see if you're the DC Pickleball team.
Yeah, just a slow build after that end change from the Kawamotos, just constructing points, moving the ball around, playing like they do.
Yeah, really impressive in terms of their ability to make adjustments. You mentioned it. You might be able to get ahead and a couple points against them, but next thing you know, their adjustments are what sets them apart.
We'll be right back with a thrilling men's doubles matchup. Riley Newman against Tyson McGuffin. We will check it out next.
Tennis Channel's coverage of Major League Pickleball is brought to you in part by Toyota Prius. It's ace now. And by Michelob ULTRA. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Drink responsibly.
DC Pickleball team on top, one game over Miami thanks to the Kawamotos, who are with Cameron Blackwood now to discuss the win.
Thanks, Mish. Jackie, you and Jade were here late last night actually watching Miami. Knowing there's so much power on the side, especially with Tyra Black, what was the game plan to neutralize that?
Yeah, I think at the start of our match, we tried to play a little too fast, a little too hard, and then Jade and I are best when we slow it down and control the kitchen line, so that's what we figured out and ended on a good note.
And you guys obviously been playing together your entire lives, but just talk about like the advantages of having two forehands in the middle, especially yours on the right-handed side, how it can set you both up.
Yeah, I think it works with our game plan of kind of moving the ball around, setting each other up for that forehand in the middle to put it away.
DC takes the first point. Michelle, back to you.
Cameron, thanks, and that's a big lead heading into this men's doubles game, which is coming up next. Riley Newman playing with Christian Elshon against Federico Staxrud and Tyson McGuffin. I promise you don't want to miss this one.
Mr. Newman. That's the one you were hitting with. Everything's still good?
MLP Atlanta rolls on here in season 2. This is the first of 3 events this season. And the DC Pickleball team made a statement when they traded with Orlando up for the 3rd overall pick in the draft to take Riley Newman. The right side of your screen, tagged him with Christian Elshon. There's Tyson McGuffin, who was available in the 2nd round for Miami. Federico Staxrud was their 1st round selection. McGuffin battled some injuries in his career, but he is back looking better than ever at 33 years old. Let's begin. There's a big punch from Federico Staxrud on Riley Newman.
Yeah, big forehand in the middle from Fed. And we got a lot of storylines here. We have some singles battlers, Tyson, Fed, and Elshon out there, and a former partnership in Tyson McGuffin and Riley Newman. And not that there's bad blood there, but almost no breakups are completely smooth. Just throwing that out there.
Competitive blood, at least.
I was going to say, see, could be said on the opposite side too, Michelle.
lot of cat and mouse with these guys, a lot of firepower both sides.
And it's interesting, you talk about the side of Staxrud and McGuffin in terms of being the alpha. That's a little different, right? You have Tyson McGuffin, one of the vets. He's going to still crouch in the middle.
Federico Staxrud takes advantage of the pop-up chance.
So there might be some nuance in terms of maybe you look to attack the exterior of the court between McGuffin and Staxrud.
McGuffin goes right at Christian Alshon.
Yes, Federico Staxrud is looking to stay in this pattern with Christian Alshon cross court and his buddy over there with a nice little poke in the perfect spot. Tyson McGuffin, the crime dog.
Riley Newman activates.
The pancake. That's it. The forehand, so impressive on the counterattacks and the putaways.
It's long for Staxrud. A lot of pressure from Newman.
Yeah, you don't see Federico Staxrud late to the kitchen line very frequently after the return. He paid for that one.
Big play from Tyson McGuffin on Riley Newman.
And that's not going to be the location for Alshon because I mentioned it. McGuffin is really crowding the center of the court, which means his forehand is massive up the line right now.
You're going to put away for Alshon.
Yeah, you're going to have to try and create space, right? Even though he's crowding the middle, you feel like you have a spot to get after, but you have to pay attention to exactly when you attack. Maybe dink center, have him use that backhand before you go back to the line.
Oh, interesting. Rare foot fault on a first volley off of a third shot drive.
6-4.
There we go. Federico Staxrud, big forehand. And a shout out to Tyson McGuffin. His counterattack ability on both sides has steadily grown throughout his career. He is so much tougher to attack than he used to. Way to go to the lab and work on your game, Tyson McGuffin.
Calls that ball good. What do you think about Riley Newman playing the right with Christian Alshon on the left and vice versa on the other side with Federico on the left and McGuffin on the right?
Well, first question, it's comfort level of Alshon. He prefers the left. He's going to get most of the balls. Riley can play the right plays with his sister all the time and mixed that way, so it makes a lot of sense in my opinion.
Yeah, and he can also utilize that best shot of his, which is his two-hand backhand. Because of that grip he uses, he can create so much leverage on that side. So definitely an area of offense for Newman there.
Staxrud catches Christian Alshon on the wing, but the question then is, can he be as effective on the right as he is on the left, impact-wise?
Not quite. Close, but not quite. Yeah, what a point. And I was about to say, Riley Newman, you do not drop shot high-end singles players, but he's able to pull off that one after an incredible point with controlling the kitchen line and the scramble ability of Miami Pickleball Club.
Well, this Miami team, they're scrappy.
And it's interesting, you talked about he's maybe just a hair less effective on the right side, but what you make up for is the difference of the comfortability of Alshon. Maybe you get fewer errors from Alshon, so you ultimately still come away with more points. The same could be said on the opposite side, too, for Fed and Tyson.
Oh, an ATP and a crafty one from Federico Staksrud. How about that shape on the backhand ATP?
Yeah, to get around the outside of that ball. And he's in the midcourt. Look, that is not a standard ATP kitchen to kitchen. Incredible job by Staksrud. And when Riley Newman does not touch the ball in the ATP defense, he's one of the best. You hit a good shot.
Riley Newman, so fast with his counters.
That's exactly right. He is one of the best in the game at just starting the fire at a neutral level and then trusting his hands on subsequent shots. His combination ability is high end.
Alshon looked to mix up the pattern to Tyson McGuffin.
Yeah, well, we see, so 2 dink errors from Alshon, and when we had a yep and a that's it from Federico Staksrud, just getting in Alshon's head, a little bit of chirping, letting him know that's the spot we want to attack.
Riley Newman goes right at the backhand of Tyson McGuffin, who, as Cameron pointed out, McGuffin can easily play the left side too. So after this, we'd love to know their strategy with Fed on the left. Federico Staksrud curves another backhand ATP, and that was a thing of beauty.
This is an unreal shot. Last time he slid that ball. This time he carves that right back into the corner.
He's still inside the post and curves that ball around it somehow. That is absolutely insane. There's a good look at Kyle McKenzie, the coach of the DC Pickleball team. And interesting storyline there. He has a very good relationship with Tyson McGuffin. Trains a lot with him, does a lot of his camps, and now he's coaching the opposing side.
Oh my God, that was incredible hand movement from the coaching. He was talking with his hands. That's very important as a coach to talk with your hands with that extra emphasis. Kyle McKenzie doing his thing.
What do you think he was telling the DC Pickleball team?
Well, and it's very interesting what you said. He is Tyson's guy, so he has all of the little tweaks and all the little things, and we'll have to see if they come out with a different strategy. I'm not exactly sure what he told them. I mean, when Miami Pickleball Club is coming out with ATPs and ridiculous shots like that, you just gotta have to find a way to weather the storm and get into a little bit more rhythm. But yeah, so you asked that question earlier as well with Federico on the left, and I think that has a lot to do with him playing with Pablo Tellez in men's doubles on the PPA Tour, and Tyson McGuffin incredibly flexible with which side he plays.
Yeah, he's been playing the right with Ignatowicz as well, and it's been fruitful for them. McGuffin. Down the middle finish for Riley Newman.
11. Riley immediately going for the middle dink as well, and then the speed up through the middle. I'm curious, maybe that was the hand gesture, was Kyle McKenzie saying what exactly is available, testing that middle.
He knows Tyson McGuffin's game better than anyone. Wonder how many secrets he can divulge to the quote-unquote enemy, so to speak, for McGuffin. Alshon mimics the ATP of Federico Staksrud, who just taught him that trick, perhaps.
That's right, and a little light stare down, too. We're getting a little frisky out there, fellas. Let's go.
No doubt a trick, and now a hat trick of ATPs.
McGuffin clobbers it at the feet of Riley Newman, ties it back up at 12. Could have another Dreambreaker on our hands, I'm just saying.
12-12.
Oh.
Side out, point.
Unfortunate bounce for Miami.
13.
Riley will say it with a very not so subtle kind of genuine hand signal
13-12.
saying he's sorry.
Point.
I mean, that's a beautiful pattern if you're the DC Pickleball team. They got Tyson McGuffin out of the middle and created just enough of a gap where there was space even within the hands battle.
Oh my, make it 4 ATPs on the backhand side. How does he find this corner?
I can't tell you how difficult this is. These are barely there or not there. It's the spin of the shot that is allowing it to get where it needs to. So good.
Staxrud defends the around the post and finishes the point.
Yeah, he has a great inside-out forehand, and even though Alshon prefers his forehand as well, he was able to get it at the hip a little bit lower than Alshon was expecting.
Riley Newman just finds the inside of the baseline. DC up by 1.
Really impressive from Riley Newman. He's so quick to get that two-hand backhand in a counter position. Really solid as he pushes that ball down.
Into the net goes Staxrud. DC on top by 2.
There you go. So I believe it's 2-1 in the errors for Alshon and Staxrud in that particular pattern.
16-14. And as much as we're keeping score, you know they are too.
Three to 1.
You knew it was coming.
Little shoulder bump from Tyson McGuffin to get Staxrud going.
15-16.
It's got to be a fun partner to play with, McGuffin. Sneaks one down the middle, Riley Newman.
Yeah, that's a sliver right there as Tyson McGuffin stepping to his right to load with the backhand counter. It's a lot of, not that he can't do it, but a lot of court to cover from Federico. And when you have the speed up ability of Riley Newman, tough situation.
I have a feeling Tyson is going to stay home just a bit more right now. He seemed on that last play, like you mentioned, like he was sliding, but it's interesting. I'm not sure why so much of a slide when it's that backhand of Riley Newman through the middle.
And for new pickleball fans, explain where home would be middle of the kitchen line. Down the middle for Tyson McGuffin, steps in that time, shades towards the line.
Yes, the middle of his side. That's what home is, as opposed to possibly sliding either way.
Tyson McGuffin changes the tie, gets momentum on his side, ties it up. Miami making this a game. Total 5.
15 seconds.
Miami making a run for it late in game number 2. They need this game to even out the series against the DC Pickleball team.
17-17.
Staksrud serving to Alshon. Tyson McGuffin slides out, punches the backhand down the baseline.
And that's the play that you now see the reason Tyson has been sliding so heavily. I talked about him maybe not staying as home as much. So Riley Newman trying to play 1 point ahead, but Tyson sticks with the original slide.
Oh, what defense from McGuffin and Staksrud. McGuffin was completely out of the play.
And I'm not sure what he did. It was a little crouch thrust of sorts.
Crouching chest bumps.
Seen a lot of crouching today.
Federico Staksrud seems to feed on the energy of McGuffin.
I mean, of course, I'm very neutral in the booth. I don't care who wins, but I would like to hear a Federico Staksrud interview. He had a spicy one. He had a spicy one last night.
19.
Oh, Riley Newman, so crafty on that backhand.
Burt alert! Incredible play from Riley Newman, and to put that ball at mid-pace just inside the line while in the air, incredible just balance and body control from Riley Newman.
Okay.
What are we checking here?
Pickleball Club has challenged the no call on the Ernie attempt.
Okay, so it can't be, I don't think it's where the ball landed in or out.
After
It is foot fault.
19-19.
Yeah.
We'll proceed with video review.
So the rules on this are that if you are to take off on the Ernie, or in this case the Burt, which is what we call when you hop over your partner's kitchen and or sideline, you cannot step any part of your body on that kitchen line right inside the red rectangle on your screen or the sideline that separates the kitchen from the rest of the court. So let's check his feet. Look clear from the kitchen standpoint. And now it's the sideline that maybe is further questioned. That is, look at the athleticism there.
Look at the Dulce right here. He literally steps in between
Burt
the
alert.
feet.
Oh, he's clean.
He is clean. That is unbelievable.
I mean, what a shot. And he lands with the right, wow, very, very well done from Riley Newman. I mean, you talk about athletic. I mean, he played a lot of basketball in his life, and actually former basketball players or players with the more explosive jump are definitely the best earners in the game.
Yeah, it makes sense. Riley Newman, by the way, would have been a basketball referee if he didn't pursue the professional pickleball game. I would say that's paid out quite nicely for him lately.
I never figured out how to jump on an Ernie. I just kind of shuffle my feet around the corner really fast. So I just don't get some of the athleticism that these guys have. I don't possess it. So when I see it happen, it's just, it's very exciting.
You just need longer legs, Adam. That's all.
There was no foot fault. Miami Pickleball Club loses the challenge.
Clean as can be, no foot fault. Christian Elshon encouraging his partner.
Challenges left.
What is the partner's reaction when you see your partner fly across for the Burt in front of your very eyes?
Well, if he's clean, keep doing it, man.
Good on you.
Yeah, anytime my partner does something great, I love it even more than when I hit a good shot.
Oh, and a missed return will be costly for Federico Staksrud. DC takes game point. Score is flipped. DC is on top 2019 to Miami. DC will take game 2 off of back-to-back errors of Federico Staxrud. While mixed doubles is coming up next. You better flush that and move on. What a performance, though. Riley Newman and that Burt changed the momentum late in game 2.
Just unreal play from the DC Pickleball team. This really could have gone either direction, but it was those adjustments late on. I think Kyle McKenzie, those hand motions did the difference. That's all I'm going to say. Now up 2-0.
All smiles for Christian Elshon and company. We move on to mixed doubles next, and we will explain how the coin toss impacted that.
Heading into 2024, Aaliyah Brown.
Men's doubles was as close as it gets. 21-19 was the end result. DC on top 2 games to Miami. Riley Newman and Christian Elshon are responsible, and they're with Cameron Blackwood now.
Thanks, Misha. A tough match by you guys. Really close all the way until the end. So much firepower on that side. You opt to run around your backhand dink to hit the forehand. What do you like in that shot more than the backhand?
It's a lot easier to speed up with a forehand. When I play the left, I'm not usually the beta, so I mean that I had to get a little used to, but hey, we pulled out the dub. Let's go.
We were just talking before this, an 18-19 burnt over there. Why were you so confident in hitting that so late in this match when it was so close?
I mean, it's 18-19. It can go either way. I think in those critical moments, you don't want to play tight. You don't want to play, you just want to go out there and play loose and have fun. And I knew Tyson was going to go line. I anticipated it and I hit a good shot. But the Atlanta crowd is what I thrive off of. I love playing here in Atlanta, so we're just hoping to keep it rolling. Kawamoto's got us off to a good start, so let's just keep it rolling.
We're heading into mix. Michelle, back to you.
Cameron, thanks. We are indeed. Miami won the toss, remember, so they get to choose the matchups here in mixed doubles. So we will dive into the matchups. DC will have to lay their cards first. We'll dive into it after this short break. You're watching MLP Atlanta, the start of season 2 here for Major League Pickleball. We've moved on to the first mixed doubles game in this series between Miami and the DC Pickleball team. Miami won the toss at the very beginning of the match, which means they got to react to whoever the DC Pickleball team put out in match 1 for mixed doubles. And this is a perfect 50-50 split. The DC Pickleball team, they could have went a couple of different ways with who they put out first. Riley Newman would be your guaranteed quote-unquote win. They instead went to go with Christian Alshon and Jackie Kawamoto against Tyson McGuffin and Allison Harris. You're the GM of the group here, Adam, so dive into what would make sense about this strategy.
Well, yeah, I believe this is a 1A, 1B situation with the DC. So you can put out your 1A, Riley Newman and Jackie Kawamoto, to squash them. But if they were to possibly lose that, I think they would rather have Riley as their anchor than Christian Alshon playing that 4th match. So you traded up to get Riley, put him last as your anchor. He is going to react to the pressure as well as anyone on court.
Yeah, and that word is the one that really stands out to me, pressure, right? Who would you rather have in a pressurized situation? Riley Newman is going to answer that question. It's himself. He'd rather be in that final spot to clean it up. So watch out for him in that next mixed doubles matchup. And maybe Christian just gets it done here.
An animated Kyle McKenzie coaching up Christian Alshon to rise to meet the moment. Tyson McGuffin once again on the other side. This has got to be an awkward situation in their friendship between Kyle McKenzie and Tyson McGuffin. But hey, he's got a job to do.
That's right. The coaching is on point, though. Talking with the hands and then the double clap as he walked away. That is coaching 101.
Allison Harris will be the X factor on her side. Of course, she was the undrafted entity. If you're just joining us and missed the women's doubles portion, Mary Brasha was supposed to be the 4th on this team for Miami. She's sick. In comes Allison Harris with Tyson McGuffin.
That just snuck away from Allison Harris. Got a little actually tight on the end of her paddle, more near her grip, so got plenty of pop on that. A little too much.
Oh, inside out for Jackie, wanted the line shot.
That's a big bummer there for Jackie. That was a great setup. Opened up the line just a little too much on this line shot.
1-1. Side out, point.
Big forehand from Christian Alshon. Easy power. Great technique, repeats his mechanics well, high-end tennis background.
Just missed for Allison Harris.
Yeah, expect Alshon to sit heavy on that forehand throughout.
And that's where you're going to see Tyson McGuffin really start to work those feet. It's a tough ball as he tries to short hop that. Plenty of spin coming off of it.
Christian Alshon sneaks in for the Ernie.
Yeah, his athleticism is unquestioned. Very easy leap for him and quality backhand right out of the air while jumping the corner.
DC could end this match in 3. They might not even have to put out Riley if Christian Alshon and Kawamoto can keep this up.
Yeah, and that's tough right there. Harris had gotten beat a couple times in a dink rally. The ball back behind her, creating the pop-up. So instead, she gets a little antsy and speeds the ball up on her own.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. She was not terribly comfortable in that cross-court dink paddle, and that's when bad decisions creep in, when you get uncomfortable.
Miami calls a timeout in a must-win situation. Down 5, trailing 2 games to DC. What is overwhelming the combination of Allison Harris and Tyson McGuffin right now?
I think pinpoint accuracy in terms of really bringing a great topspin rolling dink to the forehand side of Allison Harris. She's chasing that ball and trying to take it, short hopping it off the bounce, resetting it more towards that middle zone. But there's been a couple times Christian Alshon has been able to fight and kind of get in there and just impart a little bit more pressure from that left side.
Yeah, and she's really stuck in that cross-court rally because, one, Christian Alshon has great counterattacks, and two, she can't redirect line because he jumps the corner so well. So she is very squeezed right now, and she's got to find a way to either be more successful in that pattern or find a way to get out of it.
What is the remedy there? What are her options?
Well, one of the things she can do is maybe take the ball out of the air instead of off the bounce to reduce the amount of spin coming from Kawamoto.
No, Allison Harris catches the line, keeps Alshon honest.
Really nice two-hand backhand. Now, as much as I said she could maybe take the ball out of the air, the hard part is she also has to get out of the way of Tyson McGuffin and create space. So it's hard to be crouching up to that kitchen line. But it might be a way for her to get more involved and less behind the point, like right there.
Just missing the baseline with Jackie Kawamoto, but leading up to that point, Kawamoto was a machine.
Yeah, she's in perfect position, but she's just so solid. I mean, there was 2 or 3 times in that point that Christian came all the way over and couldn't get it, didn't even phase Jackie. She just puts that cross-court dink right back in play.
McGuffin opts to drive it on Jackie Kawamoto.
Yeah, a little difference in tempo change when you haven't seen a drive for a minute. Takes a second to get that counter ready on the fourth.
Oh, she had it. She really did. She was just a little late on that last shuffle to get in perfect position, but the angle was there.
Allison Harris rising to the occasion.
We've seen offense from her, but this might be one of her best shots. Her kind of step back ball through the middle. She's consistently gone cross court. We saw a couple dinks up the line, but that's what creates the gap.
Side out, point.
A lot of pace to handle. Wasn't even in a terrible position as that ball was not on the outstretch for Harris, but when the pace is that high, just so tough to come up with it. Fortunate on the Alette court, but man, she really did a nice job of being defensive after that great topspin roll from Christian Alshon. So Allison Harris playing a little ball out there.
7-7.
Wow, off of the let cord. Christian Alshon able to create some mid-paced offense. Incredible shot from him from a low position.
Christian Alshon gets big in the middle.
Yeah, that's one of his best skills in singles, is to drive or roll his third and then come crashing forward using his athleticism and wingspan.
by Tyson McGuffin. So hard to make that judgment call in the middle of the point.
Yeah, really, really tough, especially when you're sitting there trying to fend off maybe a Christian Alshon attack coming your direction. But a nice location from Alshon to the right side of Harris. It's a great dink going back behind Alshon. He is crowding that middle so heavily. And again, Adam mentioned it. The line-to-line dink is not the easiest thing. It's the shortest distance. It has to be very low to the net and also shallow to make it unattackable.
And Christian Alshon fires back with another backhand Ernie.
Yeah, good point from Cam. Also a higher part of the net as well. So you have to be very feathery with your touch or you're going to make a mistake or leave one high.
DC gets to 11 points first and takes a 2-game and an 11-8 lead in the first mixed doubles game, looking to steal the match in the second half of the third game. Major League Pickleball presented by Margaritaville rolls on from Atlanta. This is the first stop here in season 2. The crowd has been fantastic all weekend long in Peachtree Corners here at the beautiful Lifetime facilities. We've got 2 more stops this year to close out 2023. One in November and to cap us off in December, both taking place in California. We encourage you to come watch this live. The ability of these pros is unbelievable. We haven't even mentioned the ownership groups on both sides, by the way. DC, Odell Beckham Jr., Eva Longoria, Justin Verlander, Kate Upton, Al Tylis, just to name a few. It's only one side. Wait till you hear Miami's. Alshon pouncing on the overhead chance. Not the place to lob.
No, not the place to lob. One of the most athletic on the pickleball court. Great job in terms of his verticality.
$12-8.
Tyson McGuffin lets it go. He makes strong line calls. It's just so hard to get out of the way if you're the female partner.
Yeah, she hadn't tried that yet, and if she had, it only been once or twice, so decent look, just couldn't keep it in for Jackie.
Elshon sets it up with a beautiful backhand ATP. What is that, number 5 we've seen on the match so far?
Yeah, the ease, and the ATP is great, let's be clear, but the ease that he gets back to the middle of the court is just so impressive for Christian.
Buries it line for Christian Elshon. DC off to a 14-9 lead on Miami.
A 2-shot combo from Christian Elshon. 2 forehands coming in clutch.
14-9.
Again, just really nice control in terms of location.
Tyson McGuffin straight ahead on Jackie Kawamoto.
And they have to be prepared. If you're on the side of Miami right now for these hands battles, Tyson's got to get it in through the middle.
14.
If there's one dig from Harris, he's got to come in and close.
Side out, point,
You can't keep it away from him. Full stretch and quality shots on the full stretch. The guy is a beast up there.
Side out, point.
Lots of spin coming the direction of Kawamoto. It's really tough to handle that ball, especially trying to take it off the short hop. He's trying to not let it run away from her, but nonetheless, ball into the top of the net.
Christian Elshon's like a magnet for the ball right now.
16.
Yes, absolutely. Complimentary pickleball. Kawamoto making a couple digs off the early offense from Tyson, and then her left side stud partner finishes the deal a few shots later.
Christian Elshon finds the middle on Allison Harris. The gap was created much sooner, though.
And Miami is just doing everything in their willpower to be able to put the points together, but right now it's just way too much of a defensive effort. They've got to be able to turn some of these defensive scrambles into a point of offense. Get back to the kitchen line and get back in this.
Elshon snags it, gets the momentum, and a 7-point lead on his side.
Just too much offense. Defense from Tyson McGuffin throughout that point, absolutely ridiculous. Just too much firepower right now for DC.
18-11.
He can't miss, Christian Elshon.
I mean, what's better than winning it with your anchor on the 4th match and not even making it to that match, and that's where we're headed right now.
It's a great ball right at the foot of Harris. So tough. You've got to get your body out of the way. Beautiful, beautiful ball from Kawamoto.
Match point for the DC Pickleball team. A chance to take it in 3. We'll have to wait for now. Miami stays alive. The DC will have to side out Miami to bring game point back on their side. We are still in rally scoring, but you have to win on your serve.
12-20.
Christian Elshon on the block angle of Tyson McGuffin flying through the middle.
Yeah, that was just a full send moment. Tyson almost feels like he has to overexert himself now.
20-12.
Christian Elshon buries the corner, and like a well-oiled machine, Jackie Kawamoto and Christian Elshon take it for the DC Pickleball team.
This is textbook mixed doubles. A right side player that is not missing and making good decisions, and a left side onslaught from Christian Elshon. Well done, DC Pickleball team.
Just such an impressive dig in the middle of that rally from Elshon, and then he is so clutch, very controlled with his footwork, gets back to the middle, and a beautiful put away.
Riley Newman didn't even have to play a second game in this match against Miami after some extremely close and competitive gender doubles battles. The DC Pickleball team made quick work out of Miami. Just an hour and 15 minutes that match took in 3 games to get it done. They have Orlando in the finals, taking place later on this afternoon on ESPN2 at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right back to talk with the winners next. DC Pickleball team ran away with this match over Miami. A big performance from Jackie Kawamoto and Christian Elshon to cap off a team win. So DC, for the first time in their franchise's history, is through to the finals at the premier level, as we check in now with Cameron Blackwood, who is standing by with the winning team.
Thanks, Mish. Yes, a lot of sigh relief, so they're just so proud to be here right now, heading into the finals. Christian, you talked earlier in men's doubles about being the beta on the left side, now having to be the alpha on the left side. How were you able to switch that mentality so quickly?
I'm an alpha at heart, so it wasn't that hard. The struggle is when I got to turn into that beta role and just pick my shots a little better, but yeah, next.
And you were just talking before, and you said we just played disciplined. Is that something you guys discussed before stepping out?
Yeah, we definitely had a pattern that we were working with, and we stuck with it the whole match, and yeah, did it really well.
And Riley, I heard you before, you guys were discussing who was going to go out. You were very confident in this team to step out and win this for you guys. Why?
I think Christian and Jackie do a really nice job of just putting a lot of aggressive nature onto their opponents, just putting so much pressure. I think that's the key in mixed doubles. Christian's got a really good long reach. Jackie doesn't miss a ball, so it's a really tough team to beat. And you know, I have not gotten an MLP final, so this is I'm going to play hard. My teammates got my back. I feel it. So I've been playing lots of Sundays, but this MLP title, I'm going to come out, play aggressive, and I'm pumped for 1 o'clock ESPN2, and DC Pickleball team's going to show out.
And Jade, lastly to you guys playing Orlando Squeeze, what are you looking forward to most in that matchup in the finals here in Premier?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of energy, so we're going to bring the fire as well, and it's going to be a great time, so everyone please watch.
DC, heading into the final. Michelle, back to you.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. The DC Pickleball team has their work cut out for them against the unbeaten Orlando Squeeze. But remember, DC came through the self-proclaimed group of death, so to speak, Group B. They were tested with all top 3 draft picks in this year's and season's draft. And wow, final thoughts, Adam Stone, on what we just saw and what we have yet to come here on Championship Court.
2 impressive semifinal performances from the Orlando Squeeze and the DC Pickleball team, but I'm going to say the DC Pickleball team slightly more impressive, and that is my pick at 1 p.m. Eastern to carry the momentum over and seal the deal for their team.
One of the things I can't wait to watch for is the gender doubles competition between these two teams in the finals. Rachel Rohrabacher and Anna Bright against the Kawamotos. What will that look like? It's a matchup you're not going to want to miss.
You definitely don't. Be sure to join us on ESPN2 at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. It is going to be a battle between the Orlando Squeeze and the DC Pickleball team. That concludes our semifinal coverage here on Tennis Channel and MSG. Rachel Rohrabacher, the hero for her team earlier today. She'll hope to continue that into the afternoon. Riley Newman will need to be big, as will Christian Elshon for DC. For Cameron Irwin, Adam Stone, I'm Michelle McMahon and Cameron Blackwood saying so long. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll see you 1 p.m.